watch the show later, so you can see what people are typing in there. But
Hmm.
for yeah, it I almost had it for today, but it's doing it backwards, like mirror image, and I just have to um, figure out how to turn that around. And then we have a show with graphics and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be
That
fun.
sounds like work.
Yeah, it
Have fun.
does. it, dude, it's not that bad. I actually figured it out real quick, but um, the mirroring thing is the thing that I'm having a hard time with. So, Dungeon Buster, if he was in there, he knows some things. So I'll try to get with him after the show. I meant to do it this week, but I got caught up with some BS. But we should be live on the air now. So if you're listening and you're out there and you just don't care, all right. Just if anybody's in chat, let us know if you can hear us, and then we'll get started with the show. You guys ready?
I guess.
You guess. I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out chat.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard, dude. It's he
Mug
just
not here today.
no, he's sick, dude. He's here, but he's sick. I saw him earlier.
Mm.
He's really not feeling
Why is
well.
it
Maybe
saying like
maybe he can get a guest appearance and he could be Zombie Mug for like a minute.
What was that break?
I'm not seeing us live on YouTube?
We should.
Oh, here
be,
we are. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, we should be live. And do you see
It just wasn't showing for some reason.
here? Testing. Chat should be
No,
working.
it's Kate. Why are you still playing episode 453? Fuck you, YouTube.
Is it not live?
There we go. I got it. I'm
why
on. I'm
is
on.
your
All right.
why does your broadcast list twice though?
There's two separate channels on YouTube that I stream at the same exact time, so there's going to be two copies of each show. No big deal.
On YouTube, I mean.
On YouTube. Yeah, the YouTube has two streams, one for I don't know what and one for another, but I added it.
One might be YouTube Red or something. I don't know.
It could be. All right, Breakman's there. I see.
But I'm not subscribed to YouTube Red, so I don't know why it's showing up twice.
I don't. Well, like I said, it records in two different places. So, all right. I think we're good to go. And we already. I think we already tweeted out. I know I did. I know Break did. Okay. All right. Here we go, guys.
No, I don't want you to play live. Fuck you.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
Oh,
guys.
sorry. Oh, now it's playing an ad. Fuck you, goddamn Twitch.
And welcome everybody to YouTube versus Breakman. No, it's RPGrinders. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside my trusty cohorts, Eric the Great, Breakman the Bold. Frosty One himself is under the weather today, so he will not be joining us today. Gentlemen, it's been a week. How are you guys?
I don't have a beef with YouTube. It's Twitch. Fuck you, Twitch.
Oh,
God damn
Twitch.
you.
Instead, it's Twitch that's giving him a hard time. Yeah, we're live on Twitch, Ustream, YouTube, all the above, and you can also catch us on iTunes and all the, available stuff out there.
I'm just going back to YouTube. YouTube's nice to me.
Yeah, YouTube's nice.
Screw you, Twitch.
I like the Twitch chat too. I don't know. I'm still working on chat, but I should have that figured out by next week. Breakman, how was your week, man?
Oh, it was good until Twitch.
It's good until you got on the show. All right. Eric, how was your week, man?
It was mostly okay. I mean, I had to work 10-hour week work days for like 4 days out of the week. But we did have a company dinner or picnic or something
Yeah, that's cool. That's
that we
nice.
do every year, and we had like pulled pork sandwiches from this like mom and pop place that does catering.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I that gets me hungry. I think I know what I'm doing right after the show. Um, it's been an interesting week for me, guys, and we'll get to it when we get to Stinko's. Uh, this is gonna be fun. You guys are gonna enjoy this because I'm putting my money where my mouth is to somebody on Twitter who decided to be a tough guy. So you'll find out when we get to that portion of the show. But
But you've
um,
never called me out on it before.
what's that?
Being a tough guy on Twitter, what did I do?
No, not you,
Oh,
man.
sorry.
Some other jackass who I think is a paid fucking troll, and we'll get into all that. Um, but first,
Somebody should pay me to be a troll. I'd be awesome at it.
I know, man. Somebody should pay me to do this show. Is what they do. They should do.
Oh,
Because,
the name of the catering service is called Whistle Pig Steakhouse or Smokehouse.
oh, Whistling Pig Steakhouse. That
Whistle Pig
Whistle Pig
Smokehouse.
Ah, very.
Whistle like a pig, boy.
I was gonna say very southern style.
Even though it is Southern style. It's even though we're Northeast Ohio.
Right. All right, we got a ton of news. Let's go through the news really quickly. We're gonna do mostly headlines this week because we got a shit ton of news. And Eric, why don't you get us started?
Okay. From RPG site, we've got release date for Bad Apple Wars, which is an otome visual novel by Axis Games, published by Axis Games, made by Idea Factory, and it comes out on Eric Day.
Oh, on October 13th, Eric's birthday. Yeah. Happy
And
birthday.
there's a limited day one edition, which is I'm surprised there's a day one edition of a visual novel anywhere. Which is of course is exclusive to GameStop,
Yeah.
but
Of course.
it includes a special case and a 48-page art book, which is pretty chunky for an art book.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. I know we've discussed extensively.
Also, for whatever
those-
reason, I think I'm back on Axis Games auto review code
Oh,
list because
nice.
I'm getting stuff I'm not even asking for.
Well, that's good. Shit. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, Eric. All right, break. Next story, please.
That's because they've learned their lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What do you mean learn their lesson?
Somebody may or may not have visited them in the night and said you better start sending stuff to Eric or else. No, I'm not saying that
We're-
happened.
We're not saying anything illegal took place, such as extortion or anything of that
Or hand
matter.
jibbers?
Yeah, exactly. No hand jobs were given out in the process of by which Eric got his swag. So, all right, go ahead, break.
That is a very true statement. Coming to us live from RPG site, episodic anime action RPG Closers coming to North America and Europe this fall. Ooh, I like the name, Closers.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mass Entertainment has announced that Closers, a free-to-play online action RPG for PC developed by Korean developer Natick Games, will be arriving to the West this fall. It follows the exploits of an elite team of psychic teens in the futuristic city of New Seoul, because for some reason every Asian trope is always a teenage hero, as they balance out everyday obligations of high school life with the daunting task of saving all of civilization from an army of invading interdimensional aliens. That must be deflating to your ego, like once you're an adult in Japan, like because all the anime, like all the heroes are teenagers. It's like, oh, I've missed my chance.
I know. It's over for me. I can no longer be a hero.
I missed my chance. It's not fair.
damn it.
As a player, you are an elite agent of Union, an organization dedicated to dealing with the threat of interdimensional aliens spilling through a series of mysterious portals that have appeared throughout New Seoul. You can choose one of 5 playable members of the Black Lambs team. And let me see here. The heroes are Sia, a reluctant combat genius; Sylvie, a dedicated leader; Yuri, the skilled martial artist who only recently discovered her powers. Miss Teltine. Mistletoe? Okay. A prodigious young boy with amazing sport skills, and Jay, the grizzled veteran with a troubled past.
Jay's
Each
code name.
each character is played by Will Smith. Each character's unique personality and combat style will allow players to chart their own path through a complex, branching narrative, upgrading their skills and weapons along the way, and unlocking amazing new powers in a quest to snuff out a gargantuan interdimensional threat.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful.
Freak Five is listening. I don't think he's in any of the chats, but he made sure to tweet me that I was gonna pull my pork after the show because we were talking about the pig and whistle or whatever.
Oh well, that's nice of him.
Yeah,
he thinks of
nice.
you.
Yeah, super nice. I'm always
especially when you're masturbating, apparently.
Yeah, I'm always on Freak Five's mind. It's like that old Willie Nelson song. All right, next story comes to us from RPG site. Fate Extella Link officially revealed, adds new servant Saber Charlemagne. Let me get my mic set up here. Marvelous and Type Moon have today officially revealed Fate Extella Link and opened the Japanese official site. As with the previous game, it's an action game with Dynasty Warriors-like gameplay. Kenichiro Sukura is promising that Link will have both improved graphics and action compared to Umbral Star. And then there's an interview, some screenshots, new Charlemagne. But it does look kind of pretty, unlike the last game that we covered.
No, I think because this one is probably going to be for PS4 and Switch, where the other one was developed also for the Vita.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's
so there's
cool.
a higher spec for it now.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yes, I was gonna say definitely pretty.
Yeah, it's really pretty. All right, Breakman.
Oh, wait, how come this one girl has she's wearing 2 pairs of hose, but one pair of her hose is all the way down below her knee?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that's still.
Did she not see herself in the mirror before she left?
Also, it seems to be a running theme in the Fate series to have couple of the main character heroes be gender swapped, because King Arthur's female and Joan of Arc. Well, she was already female, but I think she was one of the Sabers. But there was also Nero Claudius, who was the 5th Emperor of Rome, and now there's Charlemagne.
Yeah, I like it. I like that type of forethought and imagination.
Next thing you know, they're gonna have Saint Germain be female.
Yeah, why not? Why not? All right, let's go with Breakman on the next story.
Coming to us live from RPG site. Side-scrolling action RPG Dragon Marked for Death announced for Switch by Inti Creates.
Inti Creates.
Inti Creates.
Yeah.
There's an update on this. Why don't you put the update right at the beginning of the story? But I'll go ahead and read it. Although the original fact sheet provided for Dragon Marked for Death listed a 3DS release, it was an error. The game will be exclusive to the Switch.
Meaning it's going to come out for the 3DS next year. I'm guessing that they don't make those accidents on purpose. They do them on purpose. They do those type of slips, quote unquote slips, on purpose. So you can expect this to be on the 3DS. I looked at the video of it. Looks interesting. Go ahead, Breakman.
I'm just going to skip ahead a bit. The game features both local and online multiplayer, where up to 4 people can team up through 30 quests and with 4 different character classes. There's an official website. Gee, what a shock. Yeah. You can see the staff on the board for the project, many being veterans of the Mega Man Zero series of games.
Yep.
Oh wait, Charlemagne's actually a guy. Yeah. This time.
Yeah. All right. Well, this.
Do you want me to read that fact sheet that they mentioned?
It's too long, dude.
Okay.
There's way too much. But it looks interesting. Look at the video on Twitter. We got tons of stuff to get to, so let's get to
this game was apparently originally a 3DS game, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to come out on the 3DS. I've no question. All right, next story, Eric.
I don't know. It's a Switch. They probably moved on.
Yeah.
But anyways, um, this is Pokemon Ultra Moon and Sun, but like we already knew that we were getting it. They were well, actually, we probably guessed that they were getting a dual pack, but now they're getting one. But it's $80, just like I think it was Omega Red and Alpha Sapphire that did this as well. But in addition to just getting both games, you also get 16 art cards and a digital download card that lets you have 200 Pokeballs.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
That's a lot of Pokeballs, because by the time you run through even just 50 of those, you'll have great balls, and they're better than Pokeballs.
Yeah. Dungeon Buster's in the Wicked Radio chat. What's up, Dungeon Buster?
Great balls are always a good one.
Yeah,
they are always better to have.
I like big balls myself. You know, like
bigger okay, but mine are great.
Also, here's a reminder for the release date. It's November 17th.
Yeah. How about brass balls and steel? Like, which would you choose, brass or steel?
Balls of steel.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This is apparently a different dual pack than the one that's being offered on Amazon. That's where we got confused.
I'm pretty sure I don't want anybody to poke up my balls.
It's called the Veteran Trainers Dual Pack if you're looking for it online.
Yeah.
Poke me balls.
Yeah, Pokeballs.
And then there's also Ultra Balls and Master Balls.
Oh, Master Balls. Yeah. Those are the best.
Balls to rule all other balls. Master Balls.
It's the biggest ball of them all, as AC/DC says. You know, the Master Balls. That's cool. Something to get excited about if you're a Pokemon fan. Let's move on to the next story from Gamatsu. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes announced for Switch. This was also in that summer Nintendo. You know,
I don't know why it's part of the Nindy showcase along with Dragon Mark for Death, because they both come from publishers that aren't indies.
Yeah. Suda 50. This is Suda 51's deal. You could tell.
I guess they considered it indie alike, so they put it in there.
I would like him to do Shadows of the Dam 2 on the Switch. I think that'd be interesting. I'm kind of done with No More Heroes. I don't know. I enjoyed the Wii
I need
one,
to play
okay.
number 2.
Yeah, the Wii version was okay on 1. I didn't play 2, but I'd like to see more Shadows of the Dam, to be honest with you. All right.
Some people, for whatever reason, they replace Travis Touchdown's voice actor with Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, boy.
Because that works so well for Metal Gear Solid 5.
I know.
Because his name is Kiefer Sutherland,
Yeah.
of course.
This motherfucker's making so much money, man. God damn it!
Just by being
It's too
Kiefer
old for
Sutherland.
Travis Touchdown.
Why? I could have starred in Lost Boys. Let's make a new Lost Boys. I'll star in the new Lost Boys. Maybe I'll become the next.
No. Lost Boys isn't what made everyone want to hear his voice. 24 is what made everyone want to hear Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh my God! Yeah, well, see, he started in
24 made him like he was a star before that, but 24 like made him like a household name.
Yeah, well, you know that what they need to do is make me a household name. Make me do a Lost Boys remake, and then right after the Lost Boys remake, I'll do a 24 remake of that remake that they just did, and then I should be good to go.
It wasn't a remake. It was supposed to be like in the same universe. Just
I think I saw the original 2DS model being sold for $50.
Yeah. Hey, Freak 5 is in chat talking about having balls on his chin. Freak 5 is in chat. What's up, Freak?
Which chat is everyone in?
They're still in the Wicked Radio chat, but there is a YouTube chat. I'm going to get it all straightened out to where we're just in one chat, but they're all in.
Well, I'm leaving Twitch since nobody's in Twitch.
Yeah.
Stupid Twitch.
I got to figure out like what the best one is. Dungeon Buster, I've got to get with you, man. Maybe after today, and you can help me with this chat situation so we can get everything good to go. But anyways, yeah. So there you go. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, sometime in 2018. So it's nothing burger.
I want to make a sequel and call it Return of the Touchdown.
Yeah, that would be cool. I want this next game, guys. I'm going to read this one. This also comes to us from Gamatsu. Dead Rising 4, Frank's big package coming to PS4 on December 5th. Uh, yeah, I couldn't have said it better.
Does this package come with Master Balls?
It comes with masterful balls, is what it comes with.
Ah.
Breakman just decided to join the Wicked chat. What's up, Breakman? I see you in there.
Well, I was lonely. I'm sitting in YouTube. No one's talking to me, and,
Well,
and
nobody.
Twitch doesn't even work.
I know. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't
Frank
know.
West, not
So
Frank
yeah.
Branches.
No, this. They made this game based on me, man. My big package. That's why they said Frank's big package. So, anyways, that's coming out for $49.99 on the PS4. So,
It
definitive.
only took a year, but we finally got rid of Microsoft's exclusive deal.
Yep. So now it's on the PS4. So there you go. My big package. I mean, Frank's big package is going to be on the PS4. So there you go. All right. Next story, Eric.
Next story is how Blossom Tales, the Sleeping King, is coming to Nintendo Switch, which I think this is the first console release for this game.
How dare you, Freak 5.
I did a review for the PC version a while back.
Yeah, what'd you think of it? Just
it's a console exclusive, so this is the only way you'll play it on console.
Huh?
Which is nice because it's portable, so you can take it on with you on the go.
Nice.
I'll probably buy it. It's like only $10.
Yeah. So it's a good game to buy?
Yeah.
Like
I never actually finished it. I'm like at the final dungeon.
Well, maybe this will give you a chance to finish it up. It looks good. Looks like an old school Zelda type game. So, yeah, I'm down. Blossom Tales, Sleeping King. Mug is sick. Freak is asking about Mug. He's really not feeling well today, Freak. But he'll be back next week. I gave him some good weed to calm his nerves and all kinds of shit.
Since you're the one who got him sick, it's only fair.
Yeah, I got him sick. All right, next story break.
Coming to us live from Komatsu, the Great Ace Attorney now available for smartphones in Japan. Capcom has released the Great Ace Attorney, the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo for iOS. Naruhodo. Okay. For iOS via the App Store and Android via Google Play in Japan. Smartphone version costs 120 yen. The full scenario can be purchased for an additional 2,400 yen. And extra scenarios are available for 720 yen.
Yeah.
Wow, only 120 for the regular version? Is that like 99 cents or something? $1.20?
I'm guessing.
I think the full game's like probably like closer to $20 to $25.
Yeah, $25.
Well, I'm just saying it says it right there. Like the full scenario can be purchased for that, but like when they say like the 120, like what are you getting for that?
Do you guys like?
I mean, I'm guessing it's the first chapter and just the first chapter.
Do you guys like?
Oh, that's lame.
Do you? Okay, I was gonna ask. Do you guys like that type of gameplay where you could try basically a demo for 99 cents? You get the first chapter. It's the
whole game you're downloading, but you only have access to that.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but to have access to the full game, you got to keep paying. I think it's almost a good model.
It's good in the sense, well, I want this game, but I can't play all of it, pay for all of it, so I'll get this now and I'll get the other parts later.
Yeah.
I personally hate charging you for what I personally consider a fucking demo.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Give us a demo and then,
Mario on smartphones. Like, it's a fun game, but you only get the first few stages.
Yeah.
They're free, but if you want to play the game, you have to pay $10.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth $10. I played that
game. But they don't charge you for that for the first stages you're playing. It's like, okay, you can get a good understanding of what the game is, and
yeah.
If it was not, if it was like $5, I would have probably jumped all over it. But $10 for a mobile game?
Yeah.
That's rough. $5 is a lot of money for a mobile game too, but it's a really good game. It's a lot of
Breakman
fun.
is exiled, and so is Freak Five. I'm looking at chat.
Yeah, you just now read that?
Yeah.
I wrote that like 2 stories
Yeah,
ago. God,
dude, I got
you're not paying attention,
I
man.
I actually work on this show, man. I do stuff. No, I'm kidding, man. It's all good.
Freak wants to know if Moria forgot a safe word again.
How
You went
dare
too
you?
far.
How dare you? All right, next.
Dungeon Buster just completely offended by what's going on in chat.
How could you not, man? Freak Five showed up, man. That'd be enough for me. I'm already gagging just thinking about it. All right, next story, Eric.
Next story is well, before that, I want to comment on Ace Attorney. I hope this means that the US will get the mobile version, and then they'll convert that for 3DS, and then we'll finally get the game along with the sequel.
Mm.
But other than that, for the next article, River City Rival Showdown is launching in November in North America for both retail and the eShop.
Ooh,
For
cool.
but it's gonna cost you like $30 though.
Oh,
Eee.
ouch! $30. That I don't know if it's worth $30. Is it that good?
I don't. I think that's the price for both versions too.
Hmm.
But I think it's a more feature complete game than the last River City games that came out.
Hmm. I don't know if $30 is worth it for a physical copy of this game. I would think maybe 20 at the most would have been a good price point, but is there a big demand for this
30
game?
$30 was too much for the
Yeah,
Wild Guns game,
yeah, yeah.
which
All
was
right.
basically just Wild Guns plus 2 levels that you could only access on 2 different difficulty settings.
Not good. No bueno.
And
Uh,
it didn't have any real improvements to the gameplay,
yeah.
other than playing as 2 different characters, which play very differently than the other characters.
Yeah. Freak Five's calling us snowflakes. You gonna let him call you a snowflake, Breakman?
Isn't
Yeah,
that?
why?
No.
I
Okay.
hate the term snowflakes because now people are using it to make fun of the alt-right people, even though the alt-right people got it from Nazis.
I think we should call them all cornflakes. That might be a better way to go. Corn. I'm all for cornflakes. How about that, Breakman?
Cornflakes get such a bad reputation.
I know. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. So we should start.
There's nothing wrong with cornflakes. They taste just fine.
Yeah.
I think the problem is people put too much milk in them
Yeah.
and make them soggy,
Yep.
and then they taste like nasty shit.
Totally agree. I couldn't agree with you more.
That's why you should
Breakman.
just eat cornflakes dry.
Yeah, exactly.
I eat all cereal dry, but I have to anyway. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, because you're lactose intolerant. You don't want to be.
Right.
And the non-milk equivalents taste bad.
Yeah. Fucking almond.
And they make the cereal soggy too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, soggy cereal just doesn't taste good.
It depends on which cereal. Now, if you put some Cocoa Puffs in there, now that's some good tasty cereal, even soggy, dude. That's
Dungeon Buster brings up Frosted Flakes. Those are delicious.
Frosted
You know what I like?
Flakes,
I like more. I like the chocolate Frosted
He says
Flakes.
they're great. They are great. All right, let's move on to.
You said Moria, it's DB.
Oh, I said Moria. Dungeon Buster. I meant.
Aw,
No, Break did.
I did. Oh, I miss him so much.
Oh, it's a love story.
DB said Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes are good, man. All right, from Gamatsu, visual novel, Tear Owari to Hijimari no Shinzuku, announced for the PS4 and PlayStation Virtual Reality. It's due in Japan on October 5th for 1,500 yen. I'm not sure we're going to see this one in the States, are we, Eric?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm guessing not, but basically, here's the story in just a bit. Wow. Something about wishes, tear means drop, Necronomicon. Hey, you say Necronomicon, I'm there. Okay, so this is another visual novel on the PS4. So if you're interested, it's coming out in Japan October 5th. Next story, Eric.
Wait,
Next.
do you know that can you recite the words, Frank?
Which ones?
To open the book.
Oh, Veratu. Nick 2 Veratu. What's the first one? I can never remember the first one.
Klaatu.
Yeah. I would never be able to open up the Necronomicon.
So you wouldn't do the Klaatu,
Klaatu,
Nictu.
Veratu, Nick. Yeah, exactly.
See, I said it.
I said it. Yep. All right, Breakman. Let's see if you can say this next story.
Coming to us live from Gamatsu. Tonari ni Kinojo no Iru. Shit. Shiawase?
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf. Two farce coming to PS4 and PS Vita on November 22nd. Intergram will release PlayStation 4 and PS Vita versions of the Precano developed visual novel. With that name, I already read. PlayStation 4 version will release physically for 1,980 yen, and in premium edition for 5,980 yen. Wow, that's a big difference. I wonder what you. Okay.
Probably because you're getting a bunch of shit.
Yeah. I was about to say, I wonder what shit you get with it. The PC version, which is rated 18 plus, launched in Japan on August 25th. So this is a relatively quick port. Yeah.
It's also only about a 2-hour game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours for a game. Come on, man. I mean.
Yeah, but the PC version was 18 plus rated, so you could probably tack on an hour to that.
Okay. All right. I'm sure you'll probably.
Something tells me it's like it's a part of a series, so maybe that's why it's so cheap.
Well, it's an 18. It's 2 hours long. I'm thinking the way a lot of the guys that play this game are going to play, it'll probably take them about 5-6 hours to finish.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's they'd have to pause the game every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
It also sounds like it's a kinetic visual novel because usually the longer a visual novel is, the more likely it is that there's multiple routes in the game.
That shouldn't add too much to the game. If you know what I'm saying, Breakman. I mean, like.
Nobody say Necronomicon 3 times or Frank will appear in your house.
How dare you?
Let's Freak 5 cast.
You're exiled. Son of a bitch. Exiled. All right, let's move on to the next story. Eric.
Okay, next story is from Gamatsu, and it's about Battle Shepherd Brigade, and it's got a release window for this holiday for the Switch and PC, and later on the PS4. Usually it's the other way around now these days. But this publisher Adult Swim Games and developer Stricken Studios, and we've talked about this before, and it's about a fantasy world where you play as a chef who has to go out in the wild and collect their ingredients, and then once the cooking minigame starts, it's basically a match 3.
Yeah. We did talk about this game, and it actually looks. I mean, I don't think we had any screenshots, but the art style is actually pretty striking. So I'm impressed, and I think we poo-pooed this game when it first came out. At least I did, but I'm willing to give it a shot because the art style is pretty good.
That's because we saw the footage and the animations kind of chunky.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of like that way, but there are animated sequences within the game which are not like that, so that makes up for it.
Yeah. I don't think I had smoked. Maybe I did earlier in the day when Freak 5 came to my house, but
you smoked. You don't remember, of course.
That's true too. That's true. All right, next story comes to us from Gamatsu, and this one actually looks super cute. I am kind of excited for this game. Yono and the Celestial Elephants for Switch PC launches October 12th. And you basically play as an elephant, from what I gather.
It's an Elephant Landstalker game. What else would you want?
Yeah, it looks good. It's basically, the features are you can use your elephant trunk to solve puzzles, find secrets, load up with air, water. this is an interesting goddamn game, and this is something that I would love to play. Three deep dungeons of puzzles, monsters, and finally a scary boss. Ooh. Explore forests and caves to find treasures and upgrades. Discuss ascetic virtue ethics with the undead, existentialism and freedom of will with the robots, and political philosophy and the roots of power and authority with the humans.
Playing as this cute elephant, but it's dealing with all this mature elements.
Oh my goodness, this sounds like a game that I have to play. Piece together ancient texts to uncover the history of the world, development of humankind, and the influence of past elephants. So yeah, you can play it in English, Swedish, French, German, or Spanish, and there's a little trailer. Check it out. I looked at the trailer, and I've heard about this game, and it looks amazing. It just looks and sounds like an amazing game. It might be one of those, small games that gathers a lot of steam. So I'm hoping that this game does well.
Apparently, the name of the developer is Neckbolt.
Yeah. Freak5 says Frank smokes 2 joints when he exiles me and smokes 2 when he hangs up on Mug. Yeah, exactly. I wish I could just smoke while doing the show, but I have to be focused for the show, especially today's show, because I got a challenge, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is on this challenge. So,
well, you don't have any money, so you don't have anything to worry about.
Actually, you'd be surprised, my friend. Just wait until.
I just tried to help you out, and now you're digging yourself back in a hole.
I'm gonna
Good
try
job,
to.
Frank.
I'm gonna try to make myself a shit ton of money, and I'll tell you how when we get to
I
it.
just helped you out. You're still digging it.
I hope it doesn't involve gambling.
Oh, no gambling on my part whatsoever. But go ahead, Breakman.
Coming to us live from Gamatsu. SteamWorld Dig 2 launches September 21st for the Switch. A few days later for PS4 and PC. I don't know why a few days later is in quotes. SteamWorld Dig 2 will launch for Switch on September 21st for $19.99, €19.99 or £14.99, followed by the PlayStation 4 and PC only a few days later.
Yeah.
Developer Image and Form announced. Image and Form is the name of the developer. I like that.
Really
sequel will be playable at PAX West 2017 in Seattle this week, which affects none of us here.
Yeah, exactly.
This game looks a lot more thought out than the first SteamWorld Dig. Even though the first SteamWorld Dig was a fun game, this looks like it's got a lot more elements to it.
Yeah, it does look better. I looked at the trailer of this. It looks good. It's got to be better than the first one. First one was kind of, from what I remember, very repetitive and kind of a bore.
And dark.
Yeah. So.
It's like the darkest game ever.
Yeah.
Because like you're digging in the underground and you constantly have to worry about having a light source.
How dare you, Freak5? You're being naughty in chat. Being super naughty. I think those are your fantasies, man. Anyways, let's move on to the next story, Breakman.
Coming to us live from Gamatsu, Kentucky Route Zero TV edition announced for announced for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Annapurna Interactive and Cardboard Computer have announced Kentucky Route Zero TV edition for PlayStation 4. Oh my fuck you! God damn it, Gamatsu! What the fuck? About Kentucky Route Zero is a magical realist adventure game about a secret highway in the caves beneath Kentucky. And antique, and there are actually really good caves in Kentucky. An antique furniture delivery man trying to make a small shop's last delivery gets lost along the way and meets a haunted TV repairwoman, a young boy, and his giant eagle brother.
You know,
wait, I'm not done. Apparently, a pair of robot musicians and dozens of other characters. Together, they explore the nocturnal highways and country roads of Kentucky, the storied Echo River by ferry, and the mysterious Route Zero, the secret highway that runs through Mammoth Cave.
Yeah, I can't think of a state right now that you would catch me in less than Kentucky. Maybe Alabama, but Kentucky is high on my list of places not to visit.
What about places to drive through?
Yeah.
Mammoth Cave's a real place.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about for my personal safety, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't doubt that they have some good caves. There's some good caves in South Dakota, but that's another scary state, man. It's scary. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Breakman. Finish your thought.
No, that's it. That's it.
Have you ever
This
been?
game looks interesting, but I avoided it on PC because it always had a high price tag. Because you're technically paying for an episodic game all at once, and episode 5's going to launch with this release.
Yeah, yeah. That really sucks if what Freak Five is saying is true. I don't have any reason to doubt. He's been playing that Friday the 13th game. They added 3 more maps, but apparently they're like smaller than the bigger maps, so it's not really add anything. Additional parts, matchmaking finally fixed. So that's cool. At least they fixed it. Yeah.
Frank's smokes 2 joints before he sucks some dick.
How dare you read that comment? This is a family friendly show, man. How dare you? Eric, next story, man.
Next story is about this is from Gematsu. This is about a game called Wolverblade, which is going to Switch in late September or early October, and PS4, Xbox One, PC shortly after. So timed exclusive. I mean, it's a tiny timed exclusive window, but it's still a console exclusive for a while. But anyways, it's Viking inspired. Well, no, not Viking. Britannia inspired medieval beat 'em up game.
Yeah. Looks good. It looks good. I wouldn't mind.
Says help
giving it a go.
Britannia defeat the Romans in Wolverblade, a hardcore side-scrolling beat 'em up inspired classes such as Golnax and Goku and Knights of the Round. It might be fun, but at the same time, it's got this weird 2D platform-like aspect to it, and it's kind of cartoony looking.
Yeah, it looks okay. I put it up on the screen, so if you want to see what it looks like, you can watch the show on YouTube and get a kind of a feel for what, or you can look it up yourself online. All right, so we got one more story. Breakman, how dare you, Breakman, son of a bitch!
The developer's name is fully illustrated.
God damn
by
it,
the way.
Breakman, less story. How dare you.
Okay.
Exile, son of a.
Coming to us live from Silicon Era, Otomi game Les Fleursword. Oh, sorry, it's French. Les Fleursword offers mini bachelors. Oops, shit. And, offers mini bachelors in an age of swords and magic. Okay then. Knight Captain Adelaide Devendel will have more to worry about than evil sorcerers in the Otomi game Les Fleursword, as we'll have to deal with the advances of several suitors while also taking care of lethal magicians.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like a sword. This guy doesn't look like a suitor. He looks more like a rapist in this scene. He's got a knife to his neck, and the other guy's sweating. That doesn't look like being suited to me. That looks like something.
I think those are 2 dudes.
That's what he said.
Guys rape guys all the time. That's nothing new.
That's
but Otome's about a woman potentially dating one of like several bachelors.
Yeah, so I guess it's.
So these are 2 people that have a beef with each other that are probably trying to get the affectations of the protagonist.
I got you. Okay, that makes sense. How dare you?
Okay, well maybe it's not a rape. Maybe I was wrong.
Maybe it's just like fun interplay, you know, like one of those romance novels.
Or maybe they're role playing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You have to play. I'm sure Breakman's gonna be first in line to play this one, so we'll have to wait to see what happens in this.
This is a visual novel.
Yeah, that's apparently also made in RPG Maker.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Because like I'm looking at a screen down below here.
Oh my god, I just saw the screen. How awful. Wow.
Oh, I looked at the first picture. Okay, like
high quality high quality visual novel scenes, but low grade everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a woman in the second picture. That is about to be a rape.
Yeah.
She isn't being suited. She's about. This guy's got a knife to her neck.
They
This is
all.
and she's being sexually molested in the first
Yeah,
picture.
because in the first picture she's dressed differently, but that's clearly her face,
Wow.
and she's probably the protagonist.
Huh.
Yeah, like this is like a rape fantasy book or
Yeah.
something.
No, I
going on.
don't think it's that, but it's definitely got that vibe.
It does. It's kind of got a creepy vibe to it. I don't know if I'm playing this, man. That's
She has a
I
handful of
think,
men
I think
vying
the
for her
idea
attention.
is that she's being like torn apart by these guys because they all want her.
yeah. No,
Is
that's
she trying
pretty-
to? Is she trying to find like the?
I don't
the
think it's
least
anything that
horrible
represents anything that happens in the game, though.
Yeah.
She's trying to find like the least horrible man among all of them. Is that what's going on?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. See, now you got to play it, Breakman. Now you have
Also,
No,
I know
no, I
this
don't.
guy with the silver hair is an abusive boyfriend, and she should dump his ass.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what does
Just-
happen. Maybe that's what
That's
happens.
actually it looks like this is what just happens. Like she was dumping his ass. He pulls the knife like fuck you.
right. And then she's gonna kick his ass afterwards, like big time. All right, that's the end of the news for today. Thankfully, let's move on. No homie discounts. Doesn't look like any Twitter questions, comments.
There's actually a lot on Twitter.
Oh boy,
Um,
can't wait for this.
what did you do now?
Ooh, I can't wait, dude. I'm waiting for mine on the Stinkos, but go ahead.
Okay, there's actually we talked to last week PG Howie,
Yeah.
and that's at PG Howie 2
Yeah.
on Twitter. He actually sent us a link of him at the Comet Ping Pong.
Okay.
So there's a video of him. It's on Twitter. So just log on to our Twitter and you can see it. I'm going to favorite it and
I'll
share it with
definitely check it out after the show because I it just doesn't hold up. Like I've been to DC. I may have been on that street. Like I it just doesn't ring to me true. I understand the underlying issues are true, like child trafficking, but the overall conspiracy theory doesn't hold much weight. And I've been getting a lot of hate on Twitter about it, but I don't care. Go ahead, Breakman.
Next one is another new person. Apparently, this is probably a friend of PG Howie.
Yeah.
At Laura_Robbins, and that's LAURA_ROBBINS. Creepy vibe and dirty too. Betcha unknowingly to the public they use blood, semen, and urine baked into their pizza.
Okay.
Satanic sickos. Whoa!
Yeah,
Not
okay.
going there ever.
That's what I was waiting for.
You sure that
PG.
wasn't sour cream and tomato sauce?
Yeah, hold on. First of all, if what Howie said last week, if the idiot would bother, not Howie, the Laura, if she would bother to listen to the show, Howie wouldn't even go down the satanic ritual part, which I was fully prepared for to talk about, because that is all fucking nonsense. Nobody that I know of puts fucking blood in their pizza and sells it to the public.
And maybe it's mayo. It has to be mayo.
Get out of
because
here.
maybe they're trying to do the Japanese pizza.
Who
It's
wants
just
mayo on their pizza?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Japanese like mayo on their
Gross.
pizza. That's like
Yuck.
gross.
Ew, yeah. But no, I doubt that even happens. But you know what? I'll look after the show at their menu and see what the fuck they're serving and break it down for Laura Robbins, the illustrious Laura Robbins, the esteemed Laura Robbins.
Damn, Frank, you can tone it down just a little.
No. I'm getting kind of tired.
No,
of-
all right, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm kind of getting tired of people.
If that
on
stuff
Twitter.
was in the pizza, I'm pretty sure people would taste it.
God, that's so stupid. It's just dumb. You know how
Grossed out
you know,
by this entire conversation.
what
I
a-
just want you guys to know.
Because you can't
Take-
cover up the taste of that stuff.
take the semen out, okay? Take it out of the conversation and just stick with blood. Do you know how dangerous that we would be to the general public, no establishment would be open if they purposely served blood. I mean,
Yeah, because you can get all kinds of diseases.
that's just ridiculous. That it's so
I
over the
mean,
top.
I guess if you baked it, you could kill the bacteria and shit. But
Oh God, man, really?
that's only if it doesn't if it survives. It
You
doesn't
know,
survive.
but these are the type of people that you would go buy a slice of fucking pizza from the place, and you would have it scientifically analyzed, and they would tell you, oh, they knew you were coming, and they gave you a real pizza. They didn't give you, the fake pizza with the blood and the semen.
Always
on
moving
it.
the goalposts.
Always moving the goalposts, man. Fucking god damn it, man. It pisses me off. And it hurts the cause that they're trying to help. Like their intentions are good, but they're hurting the cause. And that's what sucks about people. They just, instead of actually helping the cause, they hurt the cause. So continue on, Breakman. What else do we got?
Okay, back to Twitter. You were having a conversation with somebody named Brainstem Soup.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. What was it about?
I'm not sure. It says if you get a second, check out our latest episode halfway or so in YouTube, Stitcher, Twitch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well, this guy was basically on my side about conspiracy theories. He's
okay.
a cool dude. Brainstem Soup 2 on Twitter. He's a cool guy. He's a friend of the show. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then let me see here. Yeah, you say you can listen to our show. You tweet out you can listen to our show Saturday at 3 Eastern on YouTube, Twitch, and etc. And somebody named @JBeast responds with no chance.
Yeah.
Dick.
Yeah. See, they don't want to even hear it. It just no. I refuse. I refuse to listen to the other side. I don't want to listen to a different point of view. I just want to just be in a bubble. So, all right, go ahead, Breakman. Anything else?
Yeah. Asshole.
Conversely,
Whatever,
you have
man.
people that try to argue for the other side when it's about like Nazism. There is no other side of Nazism.
Yeah, exactly.
Or rather, we know what the other side is, and it's not good. So that's why we reject it wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Breakman.
It's your shot. If you wanna go on the show, that's up to you. But for you just to flat out say no chance like that, like you didn't have to respond if you weren't gonna do it. Just
Right.
that you say no chance like that, you just want to be, you want to specifically want us to know that you don't like us.
Right.
So.
Which is fine. But come on.
But don't
air.
expect me to be nice to you, because
Right. Right.
Just-
And
that's what it is.
Breakman's nice to everybody. Just ask his hand. I mean, he's nice. I'm kidding. Breakman.
Penis would disagree. Frank responded with, I didn't expect you to, par for the course. And with a J Beast responds with, I'd say you bogeyed this whole thread. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, easy layup. I prefer an athletic sport. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice response, Frank. Except for golf is very athletic. I just want to suck so bad at it.
but compared to the other sports, dude, it's not even close.
I know. You're talking about basketball. You're running and
Yeah.
jumping, and you're doing a lot. But
basketball, soccer,
Golf
football.
is a physical sport.
It is a physical sport. I'm not taking anything away from it, but to me, it's just it's not up there with basketball and football and
Oh, I agree.
and others. And it's
I wasn't
boring.
trying to argue that.
Yeah, and it's boring as fuck to watch. Unless
Yes.
you're watching like Tiger Woods. I just don't like watching golf that much.
Tiger Woods was doing things that people thought were impossible
Yeah.
at the time.
Yep, I totally agree. All right, anything else? Break.
There's actually another one from old friend of the show who we don't often see anymore. And I'm guessing probably because time or whatever. But at Flabby Sausage.
Yeah, Flabby Sausage.
Love you,
What?
Flabby. You're nice to us, unlike Jay Dick there.
Yeah.
Who was probably listening to this and gonna tear me up on Twitter
Oh,
now.
so what?
You wouldn't be the first person. Flavie Sausage says Quinix using a porn star to promote Final Fantasy 15 mobile game. LOL. Yes, I noticed that.
Oh.
I downloaded their mobile game before this whole ad, and before I even played it, it kept updating me with a bunch of shit like every day. Like, dude, come back, we got this for you. We got this today. Like, dude, I
Wasn't
Oh.
there
haven't even
some mobile
played the
game
game
that
yet.
was called something of War that did something like that?
Hmm. They should just come.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Game of War, isn't that what it was?
I
Is it
think
Game of? I
so.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Game of War was right.
Yeah.
Because it's
They're
supposed to
all
be like,
copying Game of War and Yvonne.
What's going on with your neighbor's dog, Breakman? Freak5 in chat saying that you have something going on with your neighbor's dog. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know about satanic rituals or
I'm
sex.
not sure what he's talking about either. Um, yeah,
Anything
he
else?
can probably. Anyway, back to Twitter. Frank, loving to stir up the pot, calls out several people on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm calling you out on my show today. Do you want me to read their names or?
Yeah, go
Nah.
ahead. I don't care.
Nah,
I'm yeah.
If people can see it, they can go on Twitter and see it.
Yeah.
If you want to win some money, listen to it today and call in.
Yeah.
Put up or shut up. All talk and no action. Michael Fucks.
Yeah,
Oh.
this guy I'm going to talk about. I'm going to give his Twitter handle out in a minute because I am calling this motherfucker out, okay? We've been talking about race in this country and how things get whitewashed. The cops are disproportionately, hard on minorities and just a
Not
bunch
to
of
mention, like, trigger happy as shit.
Oh, fuck, dude. There's plenty of video that attests to that. But according to this guy, Joe Arpaio is a saint. And I'm actually going to put some money. I'll get to it in a second. Anything else, Break?
Okay, yes, there is actually some other stuff on
Yep.
here.
Go ahead.
Freak 5 Chaos wanted to get in on the action. And he wanted to ask us, would you rather, because it's been a long time.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Would you rather? Love
Here we go. At Freak 5 Chaos. Would you rather get fucked by a kangaroo or a moose?
it. Ooh, kangaroo, because moose are bigger than horses, man.
Yeah.
They'll stomp you like an elephant.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I heard a story one time of a guy who had sex with a horse, and
Oh, yeah.
he did it with another guy, and the
Yeah.
other guy like rushed him to the hospital, dropped him off, and left.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Dick move, but the guy that went first with the horse, like
Dick move.
apparently the horse destroyed his colon.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah, the ejaculate.
And that killed him.
Yep, the ejaculate killed him. It was so forceful that that happened.
It was a bad idea all around.
Breakman is nice. Just ask his neighbor's dog, Mr.
I get it. Uh-huh.
Oh man, what else we got, man?
Well, me and Frank said kangaroo. What about you?
Eric, you ain't
I'd
getting
rather
all
not get killed by a horse.
this. Yeah, he'll
Yes,
take the
yeah.
kangaroo. Kangaroos.
I think we're all doing the kangaroo just because we want to live.
Yeah, exactly. We value.
Even though we'll have to live with the shame.
Yeah.
We prefer to live.
Man, that kangaroo pounded my ass. All
You
right, what
ever
else?
see that show Black Mirror?
Oh, I love that
on
show,
Netflix?
dude. That show is
Okay. The
awesome.
first episode of that, for people who haven't seen
Yes.
it, spoiler alert, is the Prime Minister of England
Yep.
is blackmailed. Basically, his choice is that they're going to kill this princess from a country, or he has to fuck a pig
Yep.
on live television.
And at first, people are like, that's all bullshit. It's awesome. It's kind of the way politics work. Like, can you imagine that shit happening today? Somebody kidnaps Ivanka and forces Trump to do that. I don't wish harm on anybody, but those people are pretty deplorable. I'm pretty sure the people of the United States would be like, fucking make him fucking ugh. Ugh. They couldn't CG it. Man, that first show is so good, Breakman of
Yeah.
Black Mirror. Oh, I love that show. If you haven't
There
seen it,
there are
check
a
it out.
lot of good episodes. But basically, Black Mirror is an anthology series, sort of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the Twilight Zone. Like none of the episodes are connected in other way in any
yeah,
way. But it's basically kind of set in a near future world
yeah, yeah,
based on what our technology and technology of the future will do to us.
yeah,
I think my favorite episode is this episode where everything has to be, where everybody's basically being as nice as they can to each other because they don't want to get people rating them lower. Because
yeah,
the whole life and the whole system is based on your social media rating.
yeah. I
So
could,
so everybody has to like you, or if they start disliking you and stuff like that, you can't get the opportunities that everybody else has in life.
yeah, yeah.
Really fucked up type shit.
It's a great show. PG Howie wants to get in and talk some Trump, but I'll talk some Trump in a minute. But
We got like a lot of reviews to do too,
yeah,
don't we?
continue
Yeah,
on.
I know you wanted to do the reviews before that. So in Freak Five Cast said that he heard kangaroos are vicious. We don't care at this point.
Yeah.
You sick bastard, you.
You're
We're
sick.
getting fucked by kangaroos because of you. Aren't you happy with that?
Yeah, exactly. That's what he wanted to say. He has this fantasy of imagining us doing all these scenarios, and he always gives us two bad scenarios. He never gives us a good scenario because, well, he doesn't want to see us happy. So, that's how it is.
There's one more from Freak Five. Well, there's a couple more, but he was saying he was in YouTube and nobody was talking, whatever.
Oh.
I'm sticking him with Wicked Radio until further notice.
Yeah.
He also says, did Frank Branches just say he likes big balls on his chin?
How dare you, man? That was earlier in the show. No, I did not say that. Anyways, go ahead, Break. Is that it?
No, that's it. But apparently, there's some. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and read what Freak Five Cast is saying now. I had so many questions about that episode. They gave him Viagra so he could get it up. Why didn't they give him some other drug as well, like ecstasy or something similar, so it would feel good enough that he could finish sooner?
Oh, you know what? That's a great point. I didn't even think about that, Freak Five. Good point, man.
I think because he was holding out hope until the very last moment that they had find the princess.
Right. Or like CG.
Right before it's inserted. Like,
yeah.
Please stop this. Let me see. Then he said, and people were standing around for a long time watching him fuck a kangaroo or a pig. Sorry, because we were talking about Sorry.
God,
the good scenarios are too easy for you to choose. Wow.
Yeah.
I think we're done with this topic. Can we leave?
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about the episode of Black Mirror.
It's a great episode, man. You should check that out, Eric. Black Mirror episode 1, dude. It actually is really good. But
yeah, his point about his last sentence about everybody sitting around. I might have watched to see if he actually did it, but I wouldn't watch until he was done, like a lot of people were doing.
oh,
that was fucked up beyond belief. As soon as he inserted, I think I would have thrown up. I'm like, no, change channel, done.
Yeah. I wouldn't have. I couldn't have seen that. No way. All right, so what have we been playing lately, guys? I've been playing a little bit of Salt and Sanctuary and Marvel Puzzle Quest until further notice. I've got a lot of things to do before I can get down to playing games again, but that's what I've been playing. Eric, what have you been playing?
Just more Hakuoki Kyoto wins. I've got, let's see, I think 2 of the scenarios completed. I'm on my 3rd scenario, and that's out of 12, so there's a while yet before that's done. But finished Trails of Cold Steel for PC. So I got all the trophies or achievements for that on Steam. But probably have a port review of the PC version on Boston Bash Brigade sometime this next week. But other than that, I rented on a whim. I rented Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I couldn't finish it in time last week, so I rented it again on Thursday and finished it Friday. It's about an 8-hour game, so like it's about 7 hours shorter than a normal Uncharted game would be. But I'll have a review for that later. And other than that, I played East 8, which I should have a review up of next week.
All right, awesome. What about you, Break? What have you been playing?
Hold on.
Oh, hold on. We got to hold
Kind of
on.
wish Mug was here because maybe we'd talk about it, but then we wouldn't have time to do all the reviews we have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I just wanted you to hold on because Eric wasn't done. He never
Oh.
is.
No, I am done.
He's done.
You son of a bitch.
The one time. Go ahead, Break. Halo 5.
No, well, yeah, but the game I played the most, and the only game I was actually going to talk about was Fallout 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Fallout 4.
I beat the main story to Fallout 4.
Whoa! Congrats.
And not
man.
only did I beat it once, I beat it a few different times to get the other, see the other endings and see that they were all exactly the same. But so there's only really one ending.
Oh, that
But,
reminds me, I have a
Good
Stinko
achievements too.
this
Yeah.
week that I forgot to put in.
Okay.
All right, well, go ahead and write it down while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did was, well, first I went through to get the achievements. Then I went back through my regular story, and I was signed with eliminating one faction because there are three main factions that actually can count. Basically, well, let me kind of list them for you. There is the faction that's considered the bad guys. They're the Institute. They're the science people that make the android, like synths. They're called. And they're androids basically. So they make those, and they're considered the bad people. Everybody in the Commonwealth is afraid of them. There are the Brotherhood, which is a military organization who travels the Commonwealth, destroying and killing everything that they deem undesirable. So that's like monsters and ghouls and androids. So they consider the Institute evil. And then there's another group called the Railroad, which I guess is supposed to be a riff on the Underground Railroad, because these people think that what they're doing is they're liberating people. What they're liberating are the Siths, the androids I spoke of. They believe that the androids are, they're sentient life and that they deserve all the rights and freedom that people do, even at the expense of people's lives. Like they save the androids first, which doesn't make any sense to me. Mm-hmm. So these three groups all hate each other. The Brotherhood considers the Railroad evil because they want to save robots, and they consider Institute evil because they're making them. The Institute, they consider everybody else to be bad guys, and then the Railroad, like obviously they want to save all their androids and from the Institute, and they want to stop the Brotherhood because the Brotherhood wants to stop them. Yeah. So what I did was I went to the Institute, and I'd been working with all these groups at this point because all of them have quests for me to do, and I've made friends with all the groups, and I went to the Institute to because one of the last quests right before I could finish everything was there, and they sent me to go and assassinate one of the leaders of the Railroad. I'm like, okay. So I go to the Railroad to assassinate him, and realize I still have another quest with the Brotherhood. So instead of assassinating the Railroad people, I teamed up with them to go kill the Brotherhood.
Okay.
And then immediately returned to their base and murdered all of them. Two birds, one stone.
Nice. Gotta love that, man. Yeah.
So I teamed up with the so-called bad guys because they live in an underground paradise with running water.
Oh.
Good food. Fresh vegetables. No radiation or monsters or any of that shit.
Oh.
Fuck you people living above ground.
Yeah.
Down underground, bitch.
Hell yeah. I don't blame you, man. So what... That's been.
So now I'm just going through getting like the stuff that gives you bonuses and things like combat and your companions and that, and then I'm gonna do the last DLCs, and then maybe I'll play a new game. Maybe.
There you go. That sounds good, man. All right, let's get to reviews. We got a ton of reviews, and then we're gonna go into our Stinkos, which I'll open the phone lines up after that, and Pizzagate Howie is going to join us again, I think, in about 15 minutes or so. Maybe, depending. But I have a couple. I'll start with mine. Mine are going to be real quick. Defenders, I know we wanted to talk extensively about it. I think it's too fresh and new for people. Some people like to watch an
I haven't
episode.
even watched it.
Yeah, but it's
Have you
worth.
watched the other shows? Because you really do need to
No.
watch the other shows first.
Yeah, you have to watch the other shows first.
Because
Yeah.
the Defenders really is the culmination of all of those shows.
Defenders is good. I think a couple of shows have outshone it. Except
I really loved the Defenders, but it had its problems.
yeah, it's got some problems. We'll discuss those problems on a future episode if you guys want us to. I give Defenders a solid 7.5 out of 10. It was good, just not as great as this. It wasn't as good as the sum of all its parts wasn't good as most of the parts. The weakest link to me is still the guy who I think I've narrowed it down. The guy who plays Iron Fist, I don't know his name.
Such a whiny crybaby.
He is not a good actor. Period.
I think it was best when when Luke Cage probably summed it up when he looked at him and was like, I could smell the privilege on you.
Yeah.
And all he does is whine and cry. And I'm like, dude, you have a hot girlfriend.
Yeah.
You have billions of dollars. You've got private jets.
Yep.
Why are you crying about everything?
Yeah,
They killed my parents. Dude, that
Yeah.
was like 20 years ago, man.
Yeah,
You
he's
got a private jet and a kick-ass girlfriend. What the fuck?
Oh, wait, are we talking about Batman or someone else? who's
no
like Batman?
Iron Fist. Iron
No,
Fist.
he's not. No, Batman doesn't mope about. He accepts what his past.
Yeah, I am not a. I liked Iron Fist in the comic books. On screen, he's terrible. The actor isn't doing him justice.
Like from what I've seen in the comics, I don't know that much about most of these characters except for Daredevil because I never really saw any of their comics. But from what I know about Danny Rand, like he's always more of like. I thought he was supposed to be more of an upbeat character.
Yeah, like more of a smart aleck type, like very witty. Him and Luke Cage got along great. It was always Power Man and Iron Fist. I don't know if you remember those comics, but that was actually a pretty popular comic. Was Iron Fist and Luke Cage?
I will say, like going forward, like I do like the chemistry that they had together. I think they could, like, if they can fix his character, Danny Rand, I think they can have a really good team up with Luke Cage.
I think that would require a new actor. I don't think this guy has what it takes to bring forth what Iron Fist really is. Like
Here, Freak 5Cast says, do you mean Danny Rand? Is his name Danny Rand?
Yeah.
Who are you talking about? Danny Rand, right?
Yeah.
He
I'm
fucking
Danny
said
Rand.
his damn name before the opening sequence of the first
my God.
episode.
I am
He
Danny
always
Rand.
has to tell us what his name
Yep.
is.
I am Danny
And there's
Rand.
actually a joke about that in Defenders too. Like he says, "I'm Danny. I'm the Iron Fist." Like, and yeah, just wait 2 seconds and he'll tell you.
Yeah,
Basically.
exactly. I mean, he says it all the time. I just that character to me is throwaway. They squandered a really good opportunity. Iron Fist season 1 sucked so bad. It was written poorly, the bad acting all the way around.
There was actually another joke too. And Freak brings that up. I did think it was funny when he said something about how he was been training for his destiny his entire life, and someone said, and he tells everyone who will listen.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Like it's really off-putting, and he's not fun.
I think a lot of that was basically those jokes where they realized that people did not enjoy that in the first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first show, and Iron Fist, him always with the same thing. I'm the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I fought a dragon. Like, I was training in Kung Lao. Dude, people don't even know what the fucking Kung Lao is.
Yeah.
Have you heard of zipping it for 5 seconds?
Yeah, dude.
Wasn't Iron Fist supposed to be Asian? Why is he whitewashed
No.
here?
I thought he was supposed to be half Asian.
I
thought
think
he was like white and Asian, but in this he is definitely white.
I'm not sure about that. From what I
thought he was biracial. I really did.
It's a possibility. But this guy sucks. I'm not a big fan of this guy. I like Luke Cage, Daredevil, and a bunch of the others.
And that was my other favorite thing about this. Is kind of the chemistry between actors. I thought Jessica Jones and Matt Murdock like really played off each other well.
Yeah, it's
I thought
disappointed.
they were. I thought like I would like to see a team up of them two.
No, now see the real team up is with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
Well,
Um,
that's gonna we're gonna get to that eventually.
I'm hoping, but how does that leave the night nurse in the lurch, kind of thing? You know that to me, um, they have a lot of territory to cover, and I'm sure they
Yeah.
will in the next season. So I can't be too critical of it, but I had fun with it, but it wasn't Luke Cage fresh to me. It wasn't Daredevil fresh to me. It was just let's throw these guys together and put them together and see what happens. They did kind of find a very unique way of getting them all together and agreeing to become the Defenders. So I give them a lot of credit for that. Huge undertaking, that show. So I'm
Mhm.
glad they got it out. I'm looking forward to another season, see what they do with it. Not looking forward to Iron Fist 2 unless they do something really, really dramatic to make that show better.
Well, no, I'm thinking now that they have friends, like maybe we'll see more of like Luke Cage and Iron
Yeah,
Fist
yeah.
and such.
I would love to see that, like an old comic book type thing. The
Mm.
Power Man and Iron Fist all the way. All right, Death Note. I'm a fan of Adam Weingart, the director. He starred in a movie actually about us. It was an anthology. I think it was one of the VHS movies. Um, but Mug and I talked about it, and I liked the movie. I'd never seen the anime. I thought the movie was okay, but um,
What movie again?
Death Note.
Oh,
But
definitely. Okay, yeah,
it
yeah, I saw
almost
that
as
too.
if it exists to say just watch this instead,
Yeah, just watch the anime instead.
or read the manga.
Yeah.
Although
Uh,
you probably should watch the anime because the way that the manga treats women is worse than it is in the TV show.
yeah. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Death
It
Note.
had its moments. Like
Yeah.
there are moments of it I really liked, and then
I'm gonna
other
watch it
moments
as
where
a
I'm like,
curiosity.
Very disjointed. Very, very disjointed. Uneven movie at best.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'll leave it at that.
I,
Um,
I, I agree 100%
Or you
with your
could just
rating.
watch
yeah.
the two Japanese live action films,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
could watch the third one, which is an L movie, and a fourth one, which is a sequel movie
Yeah.
that takes place 10 years later.
Um. Yeah. That's also what Mug said. Watch the live action Japanese movies instead. They're much better. So, I want to touch on another movie here that.
Freak 5 Chaos says, I've heard that people who knew the anime don't like this Death Note, but that for those who haven't seen anime have liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. Okay, I've
Yeah, it
never
was
seen.
They
Yeah.
don't know quality.
Yeah, it just was a
But I've
little.
heard people who've seen the anime tell me like oh you gotta see the movie kind of,
Yeah.
and then after I see the movie like you should see the anime instead.
Yeah.
Wait
yeah,
a minute,
Yeah, the anime
son of a.
is probably a million times better, but I don't know. I'll let you guys know. I'll watch it. The last movie I'm going to review is a movie called Detroit. Um, I love this movie. Basically, it dealt with Detroit during the civil rights movement and what was going on with the Detroit riots. And it told the story basically of how systemic racism has always been prevalent. And it's a good insight. And that's actually a good segue into Stinko of mine, but I'll get into that later. Detroit's a great movie. Everybody that hasn't seen it, I highly recommend that you see it. I give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's an important movie that most people would appreciate and get something. I was actually surprised. After I was done watching the movie, I went to get a refill on my soda, and the guy at the counter was asking me what movie I saw. And I told him Detroit. It was one of the best movies I've seen in a while. and this older white couple asked me which movie because they had heard because I had said it's one of the best movies I've seen in a while, and they were curious which movie did you see again. I said Detroit. I think you guys might enjoy it. You know, and it's an uncomfortable movie to watch. The mostly, and this is really weird. Mostly white people were in that theater, um, but and it was super uncomfortable. And I think that's exactly what we need to do is expose ourselves to the uncomfortableness of this and on its face how bad it is and realize that this shit does happen. And I'll get to it more in our stinkos, but 9 out of 10 on Detroit. Eric, you got some reviews. Let's get through these reviews, man.
Yeah. I'll do the really easy ones first. Squid Girl. Squid Girl is based on the manga of the same name. It has a different name in Japanese. It's like Shinraku something Musume Ika-chan. But anyways, or Ika Musume. It's about uh anthropomorphic squid girl. She's more human than she is squid. Like the one thing that's squid about her is her tentacle hair. But she can like extend them like 10 feet or so long.
Mm-hmm.
The show seems to be loose with how long her hair actually can go. But it's about how she tries to invade the human world because she wants vengeance for all the wasteful humans that keep throwing garbage into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But she is very incompetent at her invasion job, and she's too nice of a girl to actually make good on her threats. So she's more of a prankster. Um, so it's about her. She invades this beach and then puts a hole into the wall of this like restaurant, like bar that like this girl and her sister run.
Mm-hmm.
But so they tried to convince her to pay it off in order to get her to stop invading. And she's kind of simple-minded, so she just kind of goes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the rest of the show is a bunch of hijinks, and it's amusing. If you've seen Azumanga Daioh, or if you haven't seen Azumanga Daioh, the best comparison I can give you is it's either Azumanga Daioh or Garfield, except she's not lazy and fat, but she still manages to get in a lot of trouble, like Garfield.
Okay.
And it does have that comic strip like vibe to it, because like the episodes are like played out in like there's like 3 skits per episode.
Okay.
And there's about 24 episodes and 3 OVA specials and like 2 mini Squid Girl things, which are like dream sequences that involve a mini version of Squid Girl who doesn't talk, and they're kind of like silent films.
All right. All right.
But
So
it's cute, it's nice, and it's a good show for kids because you also learn a bit about Japan because she's an outsider, so she's learning about their culture.
I like that. That's cool.
So does SpongeBob show up anytime?
Oh, what?
SpongeBob.
No.
SpongeBob. He was trying to get SpongeBob in there. I'd be down for that.
I don't. I was trying to work it in somehow.
Yeah.
I got lazy and just went with.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so there's that. I give that a 9.
Okay.
Shin Godzilla. Now, I don't know why they decided to call it Shin Godzilla, but that's what Funimation did. I don't see what was wrong with Godzilla Resurgence or Gojira Resurgence, but they do pay attention to the fact that the name is Gojira, but like they had a backstory about when this guy discovered Gojira. He came up with the name Godzilla for it for the English speakers because he apparently was a researcher who was expelled from the university he worked at for his theories and speaking out against the Japanese government at the time. So he moved to America, and that's why he came up with the English name.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a movie about how it's like the polar opposite of the first Godzilla movie, which is about the aftermath of Godzilla's destruction.
Yeah.
This one's about dealing with the actual disaster,
Yeah.
and it has a probably the most realistic take on what the modern Japanese government would do in a crisis like that.
Hmm. I like
And
I like
so,
it.
so there's no monster fights in here, and I know the leading up to the movie's release in the States, a lot of people were disappointed with it when they saw it in theaters because it didn't have the monster fights. But that's not what Godzilla's about. This is the antithesis of what Godzilla became.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they rebooted it in the first place.
Yeah. No, I've heard nothing but glowing reviews for Godzilla, Shin
So,
Godzilla.
so yeah, there's lots of political talking and it's less about Godzilla, but that's okay because that's probably what the sequel's gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do we give in Shin Godzilla?
Shin Godzilla, I'm gonna give a 9.5.
Yeah. Wow.
No, fuck that. I'm gonna give it a 10.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
10.
Wow.
Wow.
But
That's Eric's first 10.
also, one thing, like I said, like I mentioned, Frank, there's a scene in the movie where the one thing you hate the most is probably something you could love because it's being used in a way that you could probably appreciate.
Cops being stepped on by
No.
Godzilla? Oh,
What trains? Trains?
Yeah,
trains being stepped on by Godzilla?
No, but there's something involving Godzilla and trains.
All right. All right. I'll have to watch it. I've been wanting to watch Shin Godzilla forever. I had a Japanese copy, but I'll have to get my hands on the real deal.
I think they sell it at Walmart for like $20.
If I had $20, I would.
Hey,
Or you could, if you have DVD.com subscription, you could just rent it from there.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe you'll be lucky enough to find it in a family video.
I might be able to afford it after I get done with my Stinko. So
check a Redbox.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, that isn't at Redbox at all.
It's not at Redbox.
Ah, bummer.
It does have an English dub, but I didn't check it out. Maybe I'm gonna buy the movie. So when I buy the movie, I'll get a review of the dub.
How dare you, Dungeon Buster?
But moving on to shittier movies, Ghost in the Shell.
Oh boy.
With ScarJo, or more like ScarJo in the Shell.
Well, the original was shitty too, so it doesn't matter.
No, the original movie was fine. It's just
no, it was boring.
It just was. It was better than Innocence was. And the Ghost in the Shell TV series is better than either film.
I liked the TV show. I did quite enjoy the TV show.
But
not either the movies.
This is probably one of the worst anime adaptations of an anime / manga.
Even worse than Dragon Ball Evolution.
Because I'm pretty sure the movie happened, and then the manga series happened, and then the TV series happened.
Worse than.
But is this a worse adaptation than Dragon Ball Evolution?
Worse than
I think
Speed
Dragon Ball
Racer?
Evolution's slightly better because it's only an hour long. This movie's almost 2 hours long.
What about Speed Racer?
It's better because the pain doesn't last as long.
Exactly. ScarJo.
Also, they did a better job of keeping the spirit of Dragon Ball, and in a couple instances, this movie completely misunderstands the point of not only the movie that it's trying to adapt, but also the series it adapts to in general. Because the Japan of whatever year this movie takes place in feels more like a very shitty version of Blade Runner's LA. It doesn't feel like Japan at all. And because there's foreign.
It's supposed to be in Japan with a bunch of Americans.
Yeah, Japan with Black Americans, white Americans, British people, French people, whatever. But it's basically about how they changed her backstory. She doesn't know who she is, and she was told that she was in a terrorist attack, and they gave her a cybernetic body, but in order to pay that body off, she has to work at Section 9, as to be basically used as a weapon against crime. And well, I mean that's how it worked out before, but in the original series, she was in an accident. She wasn't lied to. Her memory wasn't wiped, but she had to replace her entire body. But of course, to pay that off, she had to work as a mercenary and stuff.
Yeah. So what do you give in this iteration of Ghost in the Shell?
I'm giving this a 3.
Yeah. Just
It's
kind
like
of.
it's like it, not only is the casting of ScarJo as I mean that it's less problematic because there are story related reasons as to why she looks white instead of Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Because like technically her body isn't hers anymore, so like there's no reason for it to look Japanese, but it was in the original series, so they could have at least kept that aspect. But it's a shitty excuse for Hollywood whitewashing as they usually do.
Well,
And trying to make themselves look good by changing the story around it.
wasn't it hinted at that the Major was actually born a man
No.
in the original series?
In the original series, Balto made a joke about how she should get a chassis that's a male chassis. That's what was going on
I
there.
think it was just.
I know, but there was something that she mentioned later on about like been there, done that, or something like that.
Yeah.
That I thought.
You know, there is something to be said about
If she did say that, maybe she did get a different chassis at some point. We just never
maybe not those exact words, but something to that effect. Yeah. Okay, but she wasn't born a man, but at some point she used the male body. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Scarlett Johansson is definitely bankable, and that money ended up. Or that movie ended up making some money, actually. And I think if they didn't cast Scarlett Johansson, it wouldn't have done much at the box office. That being said, if the writing is shitty...
Beat Takeshi plays Arakawa, who's the chief of Section 9 in this movie. He does a good job, but they decided to make him speak Japanese because Beat Takeshi doesn't actually speak English, but it's like... You might as well have had everybody else speak Japanese. Just dub over them.
Yeah.
Or use subtitles. I mean, fuck, why not?
All right.
I mean, they did use subtitles, but for him, but that's it's
well,
just
I mean, for
seeing...
the rest of the cast, though.
All right, so what are you giving Ghost in the Shell, Eric? And then we have to move on to your last.
Like I said, I already give it a score.
Oh, okay, 3.
But Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Yeah. The more you ask him, the lower the score will get.
It's Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is basically a mini Uncharted game. It's not bad at all, and the story is it's probably better than Uncharted 4's and definitely better than Uncharted 3's because fuck Uncharted 3's mess of a story.
Yeah,
and it kind of makes up for the fact that Chloe got cut out of Uncharted 3.
I know. What's up with that? So,
but her partnering up with Nadine doesn't kind of make sense because Nadine was the antagonist of Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Or at least one of the antagonists.
Yeah.
But they have a friendship, and I guess it could be applauded that there are more games in the world that have stories about women becoming friends.
Well, visually it looks like...
I would have kind of liked Cutter would be involved in there instead of Sam Drake, because that would have made more sense.
Yeah. So what are you giving Uncharted, man? I'm sure the visuals are every bit as good as the previous ones, etc., etc.
Well, the game also has like an open world chapter of sorts because there's this big map and you can find a bunch of like tokens that once you find all 11, you can find this thing that makes finding the rest of the treasures easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Wow, that good. Dungeon Buster said Lost Legacy was fun, short but neat. So.
But Passengers, a shitty movie too.
I think we talked
shitty because it's amazingly average.
Yeah. Actually,
it's nothing worse than an average movie because you can't hate it or love it at the same time.
I saw a shitty movie this week too.
What's that?
I can add to the shit pile.
What's that?
A horror movie called The Honeymoon.
Oh my god.
Anyways, Passengers is about a dude who accidentally gets woken up by malfunctioning systems in this spaceship that's supposed to be keeping them all in hibernation because it takes like a lot of years to get to a
Yeah,
planet.
yeah.
But
Eric, Mug and I talked about this movie off
Yeah.
air, and it's better recut, dude. Like there's
But
this
I
one.
only watched. I popped the disc in and I started watching it. Is it
Yeah.
recut that way?
No.
Or do I have to like select an option?
There's a guy, I can't remember his name. I'll have to talk to Mug after the show. But there was this guy that explained that Passengers could have been a great movie because it was a new IP. And he explained if they just recut it and added a few lines of dialogue, that movie could have been stellar. It could have
Yeah.
been. It could have
But
been
they
good.
didn't, so
No, they
it
didn't.
isn't.
It isn't, but if you see this video, it might change your mind about Passengers. What are you
You'll have
giving?
to tell me about it later. But
Yeah. What do you-
like I said, it's average, so I'm giving it a 5.
yeah, there you go. 5 out of 10. That's very, very fair.
Also, I read that one review that said it's about that like it was a feminist who wrote it, and some people read too deeply into things. That's all I have to say on that.
Yeah. Freak Five Chaos says, "Fucking Passengers. Why did they have so much shit on the ship for people to do when they were supposed to all be asleep for the trip?" Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they would be woken up 4 months prior to reaching the planet,
Yeah, yeah,
and then that would be their cruise.
yeah. I guess, but there's so many problems with that movie. But recut, I think it could be pretty fucking decent. So. Anyways.
Yeah, but you can say that about a lot of movies.
Yeah, but this movie in particular, Breakman, the way this guy broke it, I'm gonna have to find that video and link you guys to it because it actually made a very compelling case why Passengers could be much better recut. And I was actually fairly impressed with the end product. Like he explained, like, if you recut this scene here, there would have been a lot more tension and, just a lot more coherency, I guess, would be the best way to put it. But I'll find that video for you guys. So 5 out of 10 from Passengers seems fair, as is. Let's get to Stinkos. Eric, your Stinko. And then
My Stinko is Bethesda's Creators Club nonsense,
Oh.
where they're charging people for mods, paid mods, and them trying to pretend that they aren't paid mods.
Yeah,
Fuck you, Bethesda.
yeah, that's shitty.
Not
Super
only
shitty.
that, but they're like mods that are like simple reskins. They aren't anything complex. That'd probably be worth money to
Yuck.
pay for.
Yucko. Yucko. Breakman. Stinkos.
My stinko goes to Hurricane Harvey and all the devastation it has wrought and everyone affected by it.
Kind of puts things in perspective, huh? I just like how the people, the senators from Texas, like Ted Cruz, who voted against the Katrina funding because he said there was too much, quote, pork in the bill.
Yeah.
Now he's, rightfully so, they're asking for federal money to help with the disaster relief. But, man, hypocrisy at its finest.
I know, but I think the political stuff we should be dealing with later. Right now, there are a lot of people dead that I'm sure they haven't even been found yet or discovered because there's so many missing.
Yeah, yep.
It just there's so much work that has to be done first.
And
I'm
what?
not saying that doesn't need to be addressed because it does.
Right.
But I'm just I think the relief effort should be the number one focus right now.
I totally agree with you.
And people like the jackass that runs that whatever church. I forget his name.
Joel Osteen is a fucking piece of
like
shit.
people like him shutting his church down when he could have been helping people.
And then
from what I heard,
that's something that we're gonna have to address after.
I heard, I heard he didn't open his church not because he's a dick, but because there was flooding going on in the garage.
No,
so
he's
even
a dick.
if people wanted to come there, they wouldn't be able to get in.
No.
See, that's what we need, and because I've heard that, and I've also heard what Frank was gonna say.
No.
That's why we need to wait until like when this is dealt with, then there can be investigations. Then we can get the facts, and then people can be.
Because
Look,
prior years, he
okay.
has done hurricane relief for
Hold
other
on,
hurricanes
hold
like
on.
Sandy and Katrina.
Hold on. Let me put things in perspective here, and let me tell you guys straight up. Joel Osteen is a piece of fucking human garbage.
Oh no, I'm not arguing that. I mean, there's other reasons to hate him.
No. This is a very prime reason to hate this guy's motherfucking guts, okay? There were two people from Houston, white guys, that took video of what was going on at that church, at the mega church. They had everything blocked off. They had, it was very inhospitable, all right? There was no flooding in their garage. People could have easily walked into that church, and all they had to do was open the front doors. Not one bit of water got into that motherfucker.
I saw that video, but I didn't hear the part about how the garage wasn't locked.
And even if it was, so what? People were walking there. These two guys got there. How I mean, really? Ugh. Joel Osteen's a piece of shit. I really don't want to talk about.
Because I think it might have been hard to see, but when I saw that video, I didn't see any garage.
No, I didn't.
But again, like I'm trying to say, like that, we need to be worried about the people who are in trouble right now.
Yeah.
We need to not worry about that piece of shit for the moment. Just for the moment.
Yeah. Well, you're right, Breakman, and I got to say I've seen a lot of heartening video of people of all color, all races, all nationalities, men, women, gay people, everybody stepping up and trying to help each other, regardless if they're prejudiced or not prejudiced. I mean, I've seen acts of heroism that make me proud that these people are citizens. And then you get the opposite, this people charging $99 for a bottle of water.
Yeah, I saw like that one Best Buy was selling like a pack of bottled water for $48 or something.
Yep. When in reality they should have been actually, I don't know, giving it for free.
Yeah, like there's somebody who should get fired for that. That's just inexcusable.
Yeah.
Like you're working for a corporation. Nobody in a corporation told you to price gouge.
Yeah.
You decided that one on your own.
The Best Buy manager that sold the water for like $40.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he should definitely lose his job for that. That's just
he hasn't lost his job.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
That was a while ago.
Because like I said, I'm more focused on what's going on, like the situation, because it's not just in like Texas, it's gotten to Louisiana too, you know.
Yeah. No, those people do need help. If anybody can donate time or money or their voice, like I've been lending my voice pretty loudly.
But I'm not saying don't complain about Joel Osteen. I mean, because we're so far away, there isn't much we can do to help.
Yeah.
I mean, other than send supplies to like charities that we know are going to deliver them.
And that's even hard to figure out which charity.
Well, there is a charity that I volunteered for around here that does. That I know, like they're a really good charity.
Yeah, well that's
so
good,
they're one place that I can take stuff to. I know.
Yeah.
I don't give anybody money. I'll give them like bottled water or stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that's
because that is something that people in Texas desperately need right now. Is
water,
drinking water.
Water number one. Water, diapers, clothes. Anything that you can spare at this moment would be a big help. I know the local radio station here, KBPI. I beg on KBPI quite a lot, but they're sending a truck down there coming Wednesday. I'm going to see if I can, go buy a big pack of water to give them to take down there. God, it was just awful. It's just awful. It's horrible any which way that but it all ties in politically. Breakman, global warming.
That's okay. When I say not to worry about later, the one thing I do worry about is how short of a memory most Americans seem to have.
Yeah, yeah. Global warming is a thing, and we have to start preparing
Oh,
for
don't
it.
don't talk about global warming to me right now, dude. The last couple days we've had highs in the low 60s.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah.
supposed to be summer, so don't talk to me right now. Just shut up. Shut up. I'm
We,
a little I'm really pissed about the weather, so just
yeah.
I don't want to hear
I'm
anything
sure
about
you are.
weather.
I'm sure you
Pissed
are.
off right now
I'm sure you are.
because this is like
Um,
supposed to be the last weekend of summer,
no.
and and it feels like it's October.
Yeah.
So fuck me.
um, Holy fuck. We've got to get. I mean, there was a report on CNN, and this guy was telling the truth. He was like, the oil companies. There's a lot of money in this triangle area here in Texas, that the oil companies have been, stealing, and it's resulted in this. And most likely, the chemical plants are going to blow up. As a matter of fact, they are going to blow up. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah,
Um, and
further contaminating the
yeah,
environment.
thoroughly contaminating that entire area.
Yep.
And we have to do something energy wise to get away from fossil fuels. It has to happen. But that's for another day. I'm gonna get.
At one point it seemed like we were going to get away from that, but it's gotten a lot cheaper lately.
Yeah.
So it's becoming harder to get away from.
Yeah, Freak Five's already talking about one of my stinkos. Let me segue into my stinkos. Howie, if you're listening, I can get you in. Just let me know you're ready. Fuckery on Twitter. I'll get to that in a second. Sheriff Clark resigned, so that's a very good thing. It's almost a sweeto. But I have a feeling he's going to end up with a position in the White House, which is not good. I haven't heard the latest. Maybe he's already been hired. There was a nurse that was arrested yesterday, and I talked before I got on the show. And people talk down at me, or they don't understand my position when I talk about police. And this video is going to be a seminal video to prove what minorities have been screaming about for centuries, literally. This woman was a nurse at, I can't remember, maybe Freak 5 knows which hospital, but I think it was in Salt Lake City, Utah. White woman in her, I'm guessing, mid-30s, was a nurse. And what had happened, let me give you a little bit of context. There was an accident, and the driver that was in the wrong hit another vehicle with two people in it. The guy that was in the wrong died. I don't know if at the scene or at the hospital, but he was definitely in the wrong. The two people in the victims, one was burned so bad that he was unconscious. He was the driver. The woman, I guess, had some injuries, but okay. The cop went to the hospital and immediately wanted a blood draw to see if this guy was on drugs, apparently, or something. And we specifically have laws to prevent that, to prevent, people getting your information, the HIPAA laws in effect and stuff like that. And just because you're a police officer doesn't mean that you don't have to go through the proper channels to get blood draws. The guy was unconscious. He gave there was no way he could have gave permission for a blood draw. And the cop was very adamant, and the nurse did her job. She's an American hero. I hope that people watch that video and understand that this lady is an absolute hero for standing up for the United States and for the rule of law. And you know what her payment for that was? She got arrested because she didn't want to give the blood draw. He didn't have a warrant. There was nobody to consent to that blood draw. The guy was unconscious. She pointed it out to the police officer, and he roughed her up. and he arrested her. And that cop should be immediately, and I mean, what's going on? Does somebody got something going on there? Somebody should.
Yeah, it's weird because she's a white woman. Usually they just do like if you suck my dick, I'll let you off.
Right.
Usually that's what they do with white women.
Right. So my whole narrative that I've been talking about for years on Grindr has been police brutality, and police in general are pieces of shit. And we always hide behind the fact that these are just a few bad apples, and you can't take them as a whole that way. And I mean, it's one thing after another, and it's mostly out of good intent, right? But I think this shines a spotlight at exactly what the problem is. It's systemic racism, and it happens with police officers a lot more than what people even know. And I hope this puts a big spotlight, and I hope people push for this guy to get fired and put in jail, because I think falsely imprisoning somebody, even if it's for 10-15 minutes, is exactly what this country is not. This country is not Nazi Germany. This country is the United States of America. And I just can't believe that we let this type of behavior go on and on and on and on. Where does it end? And I have no answer for it, and I wished I did. And it's sad to see, but you can see it online. I'll try to post a link to this show so people can watch it and be just as appalled as I was. And then maybe you can be just as appalled as Philando Castile's wife was, as he was getting murdered in his car, or Gardner, or Tamir Rice, or any. I mean, I could go on and on. I saw a video of a Hispanic dude in Hollywood being harassed by police officers. These guys and women are not good people. They are not working for you. They are working against you. And this narrative of, oh, these are just a few bad apples, I think we need to take a real good hard look at that and understand that the vast majority are bad apples, if not all of them. Because if you're not speaking out against bullshit within the police department, then you are for the bullshit that's in the police department. No question they have a hard job. No question that there's high risk involved in their job, but they chose to do it. And I think we need to vet these people a little bit more. So
I think they need to be trained differently, for one thing. Because I've seen a lot of these videos that even end in nothing, with nobody getting arrested and stuff like that, where the cops are a lot more aggressive than they should be. Cops, a job should be going into a situation to de-escalate it.
De-escalate and enforce laws, right?
Where a lot of times I'm seeing cops going into a situation where they escalate it.
Yeah.
Where they do things where it's like, where I'll hear other cops say, well, that's not the procedure, but that's maybe I'll do that, or it's okay, or something like that. But that's not the procedure. How is that okay?
No accountability, for one. Better police training. I actually think that they should do away with tasers. I think tasers are an awful.
I disagree, because I'd rather get tasered than shot.
No, look, if you have to draw your weapon, then you're in imminent danger, right? So the imminent danger, we allow cops to have a gun. And that should be enough.
That's the thing is, it's supposed to be imminent danger, but we've seen far too often cops draw their gun and they fire.
Yeah, maybe
we've seen this happen far too often, where there are people unarmed that are getting shot.
Well, see,
if they were getting tased, maybe they would have lived. No. I would prefer that we take their guns away and they can have tasers. And then we could phase tasers out over time, maybe. But you know what? You see what I'm saying? Like, Wouldn't you rather
right.
them pull a taser on you than a gun?
Look,
Because if a cop pulls a gun, they intend to shoot.
yeah, I actually, if you want to see my feeling on
And
tasers,
I have heard a few stories where cops have thought they were grabbing a taser and they pulled a gun instead and shot somebody.
okay, well that's bullshit because
Yeah.
they're specifically designed to not feel like a gun, but
Yeah.
it's just excuse after excuse.
That's what I'm saying. If they just had the taser though, they
Right.
wouldn't. There'd
There's
be no
something to
excuse.
what you said, Breakman. For the longest time, British cops never carried guns until fairly recently, and their crime rate was way lower than the United States. So there is something to be said about no guns with cops, but we're doing the opposite. We're giving them military weapons like grenade launchers and camouflage uniforms, and it's just atrocious. And if you don't think we live in a police state, then all you have to do is look at Brooklyn and look at the permanently stationed police there that are basically holding those people hostage. And it's just wrong, and it needs to fucking stop. It's the rule of law should be the rule of law, not I'm a cop and I decide what's law. It's not a crime to disrespect a police officer. So me going up to a police officer and flipping him off, as long as I'm not touching him, should not require a police officer to take his gun out and shoot me.
I might want to disagree with
No,
you on that
no,
because there are a lot of obscure rules on the
no,
books, and there are rules about stuff like
no,
that.
no. They're not.
There,
It's
there,
not.
there there are laws against that in certain
There's
states.
maybe local laws
Maybe
and where
not in
you
your
live.
state, but in
No,
certain states
no.
there are.
And you know what? The federal law trumps everything, and nowhere in federal law is it not okay to disrespect a police officer. I
Right,
can say
but the
no.
local law where it's not illegal, or I mean where it is illegal, and the cop arrests you for using obscene language in public or
Um,
being obscene in
there,
public, they can do stuff like
no,
that.
no, 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 no. They can charge you with disorderly conduct, which is different. But if I'm voicing displeasure, like if I was present and when that nurse got accosted by the cop, I would have spoken up, and I would have said, "You're a fucking asshole," and that should not mean that officer arrests me for calling him a fucking asshole.
I agree. I'm just saying that in some states it could happen.
Yeah, well, those states are absolutely wrong, and it's not here in Colorado. I don't know of any federal law that says you can't call a cop an asshole. So
I'm getting a call from Skype. What the
yeah.
fuck?
Hang on. I think it's. Uh,
Oh, we got to get our caller on. We've been going on this too long.
yeah.
Let's get on.
Well, I'm gonna get on to my next thing. I had my next stinko lined up. Basically, somebody on Twitter. If we don't think racism is a thing, I'm calling out this guy right now. His name is, you said Michael Fucks. Obviously, that's not his name. It's at freedom at Mach 5. So FreedomAtMach 5. He's got a total of 6 followers. So I'm pretty sure this is a bot. But if this is a real person, I issued a challenge to him. He's a racist, or he's either a paid bot or paid person, or he's just a racist. Because me and him went at it. Let me start the thing here, the little thread. Jennifer Jacobs had posted something about John McCain blasting Trump's pardon of Arpaio, which we talked about last week. Let's see. I said nice of him, right? But he stood by and did nothing as that monster broke the law over and over again. Too little, too late. And then this guy says, enforcing immigration law is not breaking the law. It's not what I said he broke the law for, you moron. He's a criminal. Any which way you look at it, Joe Arpaio is a criminal. He enforced immigration law, and I know that upsets you. This guy says, too bad. And so finally I lost it. So it devolved into him accusing me of being a felon. And I said, well, let's put our money where our mouth is. And
Yeah, just because he's right's not the point.
How dare you, Brakeman? I want to say for the record on the show, it's recorded. I
I was just kidding.
no 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 no. I know.
You don't have to defend yourself.
No. But I'm gonna do something here. I'm issuing a $50,000 challenge to this guy, this bot, this whoever the fuck he is. $50,000. I will take any background check. I'm putting up $50,000 of my money, $50,000 that I have less felony conviction, that I have no felony convictions. I've never fucking done anything felonious ever in my life. He's out of ignorance. He says that he guarantees that I've committed more felonies than Joe has misdemeanors. So put your money where your mouth is, asshole. $50,000 I'm putting up of my money. I want to see you put up $50,000 of your money, and I'll take any fucking background check you wanna put on me. Period. All right. And to prove my point that I'm not a felon, how do I have a medical marijuana license, you idiot? You can't have a medical marijuana license if you're a felon. I can't even, I could not even believe this. So when you attack me and my character, that's a different story than other things that go on the show. If you want to debate me like Pizzagate Howie did, very eloquently defended his point. I felt he was wrong. He felt I was wrong. Do we have you on the line, Pizzagate Howie? Yeah, I don't think we have him on the line, but I have no problem debating people, but when you take it on a personal level and you think that I've committed more felonies than a known criminal, you're part of the problem. So put your money where your mouth is, and anybody who thinks that about me, that I have more felonies on my record than Joe Arpaio does misdemeanors, I'm putting up 50,000. It's an open challenge, mostly to this guy, Freedom Freedom at Mach 5 on Twitter, Michael Fuches, which is a fake name. I challenge you, come forward, put up $50,000 of your money, and we'll be good to go. So that's my other stinko of the week. Freedom at Mach 5. Put your money where your mouth is. I've got 50,000 reasons why you should come forward. So let's see it. Let's see it. I want to be $50,000 richer. So let's do this. Let's make it official. You come on the show. You can get me on Twitter. However you want to do it. Let's talk about which background checks you want to get, et cetera, et cetera. And get this, I'll even pay for the background check too. So 50,000. I'm putting up 50 grand. No bullshit. $50,000. So there you go. That's my challenge. Hope he takes me up on it, because I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's see. Did I have anything else? Nope. That's it. Breakman, did you have any stinkos?
We already did my stinko, but I think he's trying to get into SPG Howie.
Yeah.
I think he's calling us.
Yeah, I gotta call him. So I'll try to get him in the call as soon as I'm able to. But do you have which one did I go over that was yours, Breakman?
Oh, Harvey.
Yeah, Hurricane Harvey. What about you, Eric? I think we did yours, didn't we? Yeah, Bethesda. So it's open. Let me see if I can get Pizzagate Howie. He wants to talk Trump, which is fine. We got a little time. Let's see if we can get Howie on the line here. Howie, I have to call you, dude. I have to call you, Howie. So I'm trying to get Howie on the line. We'll see how that goes here. But anyways, Let's move on. You have any Sweetos, Eric? No Sweetos. How about you, Breakman? Any Sweetos?
Yeah, I went to a Reds game this week. My brother got us awesome tickets.
I saw the pick, man. Joey
Yeah,
Votto. Yeah, that was really cool.
it was a good game.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
won, and it was a free food ticket. So
yeah. I think we have.
when there's free food, I have to get as much as I
Oh
can.
yeah,
I
man.
can't
I
I
mean,
can't help myself. It's
take
free.
take advantage
That's
of
that's
that
the
shit.
that's the that's the poor kid in me.
Yeah.
Free food, I'm not coming.
Free food, I'm there. Hey, Howie, do we finally have you on the line?
You finally have me on the line.
Yeah, right on, man. Welcome back to the show. First off, I don't know if you heard my rant. This
Yeah,
moron.
you guys are all over the place today.
Yeah. Well, that's what we tend to do, man. We the first half of the show is video games. Second half is fun stuff. So I did. It's a legit challenge. $50,000. You want to take me up
Oh,
on
come on,
that?
man. The guy has 6 followers, and you're
Yeah.
addressing him. Let him bet. It's
No, no.
like, come on.
I
Anybody with
actually
6 followers that shows up on your feed, forget about it. I mean,
no,
it's
no,
not
no,
even
no.
worth.
I agree. I'm not thin-skinned, but I just want I want people like this to be held accountable. So, either you're going to be outed as a piece of shit liar, or you're going to be $50,000. Uh, out of $50,000. So, and it's an open challenge. So anybody's more than happy if they think that I actually have more felonies than Joe Arpaio has misdemeanors. Then let's go. Let's put your money where your mouth is. I'd love to win $50,000 every day for the rest of my life.
First,
It'd be
I think
awesome.
you're being too sensitive about somebody with 6 followers, but
No,
that's
no,
my.
no, no. It's not about being sensitive. It's about just proving my point. And if you wanna think that, and you want to try to make other people think that about me, there's a price to pay for that, and it's $50,000. So that's
Yeah, but
that's
it,
what I'm
it may
saying.
not be it may not be a real person, so don't
Right.
worry about it.
You know what? If it was a person with 1 million followers, a verified person, I don't care. The one thing that I don't like is when people call my integrity into question. And to say that I have a felony on my record, then, put up or shut up. So
I,
I'm just
that's
saying.
that's your decision.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's talk some Trump here. We've been talking a little bit about Harvey, some other
Yeah.
Well,
things in the news.
one of our listeners sums it up for you, Howie. He says, "LOL, Pizzagate Howie must not listen much. Frank is sensitive about a lot of things."
All right.
Not sensitive. Just call bullshit out when I see it, man. So let's
Yeah, but
talk.
there's a Twitter world and there's a real world,
Right.
and if you pay attention to everything that comes across your feed, it's just
No.
trolls and bots are designed to take you off message, and right now, like, you're addressing him, you could be addressing something else.
No,
So
I totally agree,
I'm just
but
saying. No,
I,
I
I,
understand.
I
If
totally
nobody,
agree with you. No,
cool.
no question about it. But that's what this show is about. It's about
I,
discussion, about controversy, about stuff like that. So if we want to get
I
to the
mean,
crux of some of these matters, then this plays into the narrative, Howie. This goes along with everything that I've been saying for years and years. That the system itself is flawed. Um, and there are racist people in high positions that should not
oh,
be there.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
You know, one of the things, this last week, after, on Sunday, they had the thing go down in Berkeley,
hmm
and it's a mishmash of Antifa, Black Lives Matters, just resist in general.
hmm
And
hmm
I went on Berkeley's website, and their student population is 3% Black.
hmm hmm
And I just find it incredibly funny that Berkeley is like the epicenter of the resist movement and inclusion. But if you look at their
You're
if you look at their
absolutely
student
right.
body,
You're right.
um,
You're right. But there's a reason for that. I think the Young Turks. I know I go to Young Turks a lot, but I look at other shit too. They did kind of an expose on affirmative action. It's actually working against minorities now in your universities. It's not working for them. They broke it down pretty good. You can check out the video for yourself. But
Yeah, I mean, race is a very, very complicated issue, and to, and to, pick, to cherry pick, this cop killed this black man, or
it's
this,
not cherry
this
picking
situation.
anymore. I think we're
Well,
past that. I think we're past that, Howie. We're past the cherry picking moments of police officers doing this.
oh,
It's not only black people anymore. If you look at that video where that nurse got arrested, even the most racist of people can look at that video and say, you know what, that woman got roughed up. She shouldn't have been roughed up. I mean, to be dragged out of her place of work.
yeah, I'm not familiar with that story. I mean, I was listening a little bit, but
Oh, dude, it was horrible. It was basically a woman that
Frank,
an,
Frank, there's bad shit that goes on every day on
Right.
on both sides. That's what I'm saying about
no,
cherry picking. I'm not saying
no,
that,
no, no.
these
can't
these
equate both
incidents and stuff.
sides. Look,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
no,
I'm all yeah, I
no.
totally agree with that. But there's also, you could tell a different story. Like, for example, when the two police officers in I think it was, I forget where it was in Florida. It's about 3 weeks ago. I mean, they were gunned down by, a black man, and it got absolutely no attention.
It shouldn't. And you know why? Because cops are the law, all right? They are the law. They're no more special than you. They're no more special than me. I don't understand why all the pop and circumstance happens when a police officer gets shot, but somebody like Philando Castile, who has no shot, who is a good citizen, who didn't do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, he did everything right. I mean, there's no equivalency there. That's the point, Howie. There's no equivalency. We've got to start handling these people with the same type of treatment that they give everybody else. All right, and this nurse is just a perfect example of it. If you get a chance after the show, Howie, watch it. It's
I'll check it out.
it's awful. And I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked. You might be shocked, Howie. My co-host might be shocked, but that maybe they won't be. But the whole point is now there's a spotlight on it, right? Before it's oh, you're cherry picking, like what you said. Like I cherry pick Gardner from New York, or the stuff that happened in Ferguson, or the kid that got shot in Cleveland in a park as he was running away, a black man that's shot out as he's going away. These are not you. At what point does it become not cherry picking, Howie? That's my biggest
Well,
issue
there's
with
three.
everything.
Well, there's 320 million people in the United States, and if you just rattled off, even if you rattle off 20 stories, yes,
Uh-huh.
they're all. I'm not discounting them. It's an awful situation, but we're talking about 20 people.
No.
Now,
Look,
in order.
look, and
What's
this
that?
extends. This extends, Howie. Let me
Oh,
tell
I'm,
you
I'm
why
not.
it
Listen,
extends.
I'm not. Listen. Well, it's not. I'm agreeing with you that there is a problem.
Do you agree
Okay.
that it's a systemic problem, not just a cherry picking situation? That it's a system wide problem, Howie?
Well, I think you have to look at. I think you have to look at individual police departments, because
Mm,
I don't even know where you're from, but I'm not in Philadelphia.
mhm.
I don't think it's systemic.
Well, there's plenty of people, I'm sure, in Philadelphia that would tell you otherwise. All you'd have to do is look at the police population
But if
of
you
the
look at a
prisons.
small town, but if you look at a small town police force with 50 cops or 20 cops, it's a big difference. Then you have a bigger chance of something being systemic.
Well,
I believe there's like 6,500 officers in Philadelphia.
uh-huh,
It's
uh-huh.
probably, I mean, I don't want to say it's 50% minority,
Are
but
you
it's
aware?
probably pretty
Are
close.
are you aware of the situation in Baltimore and the corruption in the Baltimore Police Department?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
all right.
yeah. I mean, yeah, when that guy, I forget his name, he got put in, he got put in the back and taken for that, whatever they call that special ride, and he's bouncing all over and he died. I mean, dude, that's fucked up. It's fucked up, and like, but Baltimore's Baltimore's a fucked up city.
And so is Philadelphia, from what I hear, my friend. Look, all I'm saying is this: if you look at the prison population, why is it that 75% of the population is minorities? And you can't tell me that there aren't as many white criminals as there are black or brown or yellow criminals. Right. All right. And here's another thing, Howie. I want you to look online. If nobody thinks we live in a police state right now, look at the nurse video. Look at the videos of Brooklyn and how the police are stationed there. And don't let anybody walk the streets without 24-hour surveillance. All right? So what I'm saying is people have to start realizing that it's a systemic problem, not a situation where there's just a few bad apples. And we have to start training better. Breakman brought up that point. No question, training. We have to vet these people, all right? We give them a gun. We should have all kinds of mental health tests to make sure these people are satisfactory to own a gun, right?
Well, they do. They get put through
not enough,
battery
man.
tests.
If you look at any one of those videos, right? Any one, pick one, and you see the way that the police officers conduct themselves, they think they're above the law, all right? Nobody is above the law, not even the president of the United States. At least that's what we're taught in school, right? So
did you see the situation?
And how many of us have seen, and this, I know this is minor, but it is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us have seen a cop turn on their lights to go through a red light and then turn them back off once they get
this is
past
my
the red
point.
light?
This is my point. They will argue that there was an emergency situation. I've complained about this one time before. You know where my complaint went? I had a license plate. I had a video. I had everything. You know how far that got? Nowhere. Do you think the cop was reprimanded? Do you think he was told anything?
No, he was definitely told about it, and then they laughed at you.
Yeah, then maybe. I doubt it, but they probably
he's like, hey, listen to this. Some guy complained. He brought in a video of you going, oh my God, what a loser.
Right. But yet, if I was to do that, if I was to go through the red light, oh boy. Oh yeah. Now we got a problem. Right. Now we got somebody disrespecting me that and I could say, oh, he's resisting arrest. He's doing this and that and the other. I mean, it just goes on and on. When does it stop? That's what I'm saying, Howie. When does this shit stop?
But do you think it's only white cops and minorities that this is happening to?
I didn't say that. I did not say
that. I didn't say you said it. I was just asking you.
No, I actually think it's a systemic problem. I think the training is all wrong. I think the vetting is wrong. Whatever shit tests they're doing now for this is our best. These are our best. I think the blue wall of silence has to be eradicated. I think we need better safeguards in that regard. Maybe some community accountability councils or commissions, that aren't bought by lobbyists or paid people.
Sure. Talking and transparency is real good.
Right.
But,
right. Transparency.
It's
I think that's what.
Thing. Can I give you a quick story from Philadelphia?
Yeah. Go for it. Go for
it. It was, I'll say it's like 3-4 years ago, during the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and there was, it wasn't at the parade, but somewhere like people were just out in the streets.
Yeah.
And partying or whatever. Somebody throws a beer into the crowd. Okay, and there's police officers.
Oh, what
standing.
the fuck?
Right.
Not to complain, but that's a waste of beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
just as a side note, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. And you can look it up because it was caught on camera. It hits a cop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The beer hits the cop. He turns around. The guy who threw the beer was like, I guess it was kind of walking. He turns around and there's a woman standing there who did not throw the beer.
Mm-hmm.
He sucker punches her in the face, knocks her out cold, bloodies her face right on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
He was suspended, and it went through, suspended with pay. It was like a long trial. He did not get fired, and he got back on the job.
Okay.
He probably got that pay back too.
Right, and he got
absolutely.
back pay
He was. I think he was off for like 2 years.
So
listen, Philadelphia police have been very good to me. When I'm out demonstrating, for the most part, like they've protected me, extremely well.
Right.
I've
actually had the opposite happen with me on quite a few occasions, but that's just anecdotal, personal evidence that I got.
But I mean, there was a clear-cut case of, it's assault. I mean, and you're not, even if you get a beer poured on you, the appropriate response is not punching somebody in the face.
No
like
question.
under any circumstances.
Right. Right. And especially if you're in a position of power. I went toe-to-toe with the other guys on here on the show. I called for stiffer penalties for police officers, but they kind of convinced me that that's not going to work. What would really work is actual enforcement of the law on police officers only when they break the law. I'm not saying, put a higher microscope on them, even though they should have a higher microscope, because they're our protectors. They're supposed to be our protectors instead of our oppressors. But we really got to take into account the public and what we truly feel about police officers and what's truly going on. Like I mean, I can't tell. I've experienced it myself recently. I've had people issue me violent threats and stuff like that, and I've tried to take care of it with cops, and it, there's really no sympathy, no, I wish there was, nothing. It's like, oh, we can't do anything. What do you want me to do about it? It's like, does this guy have to basically kill me before you do something? I mean, what needs to transpire? What lawful options do I have? And I won't call the cops because I'm afraid, because they have a tendency to act a little more aggressive when you're a minority, and that's putting it mildly. That's not, I don't.
Well, I can't. As a 48-year-old white dude, I can't speak on that, on that experience. So,
no,
it's a complicated issue, and obviously
complicated. But here's another point that I want to make, Howie, and it ties into Trump. When you have the president of the United States doing false equivocation of what happened in Charlottesville, that adds to the problem. It does not help. Instead of saying, we are anti-Nazi, that's why we went to World War II, our veterans served. My grandfather was in World War II, so we fought against Nazis, and now we're supposed to sympathize with Nazis? I'm sorry, we've already been that route, and it ended up with a lot of lynching and a lot of people getting hurt, and
we could have a long conversation. I mean, we're not going to agree on Charlottesville, because I believe that both sides were actually paid to be there. That entire thing was set up, but I don't really want to get into that. I know Nazis were there, but the Nazis weren't the ones, like, even the guys that organized the rally, like, they didn't get attacked. They didn't get the guys in the suits. You didn't see any guys in suits getting attacked. They were out the back door, weren't they? So they bring. Huh?
No, all I know is that we can't make it equivalent. We can't say Nazis are bad, and at the same time the people defending, people from getting hurt. There's no equivalence. These people were spewing hate there. And that's what I'm saying. We as a society, as the United States of America, cannot support people that sympathize with Nazis. All right.
But not all people on the right were Nazis.
No, but
all the people on the right were KKK.
I'm pretty sure. Well, okay, KKK.
There was a mishmash. There was a mishmash of
right. Basically, what I'm saying is white supremacy is not cool. That's what I'm saying. And
90, I mean, a high 90% of white people don't support white supremacists. But now everyone's getting labeled as a white supremacist, as a Nazi.
No,
dude, it's happened to me.
Well,
it's happened to me.
Look,
dude, I'm on Philly Antifa's website, dude.
Yeah.
As a local Nazi and fascist, I am.
Look, I don't think you're a Nazi fascist, Howie. I just think that.
But his point is that how people can perceive other people can be wrong.
See, here's the thing.
I actually don't think it's
like he's being perceived wrong. He's saying that you could be perceiving some people wrong, and a lot of people are. That's just what he's saying.
Okay, let me put to rest any doubt. Okay, if you saw what happened in Charlottesville and you have a false equivalency in your mind that the anti-fascist, which is what Antifa is, anti-fascist. If you're not an anti-fascist, I'm an anti-fascist. I don't know about you guys. I don't like fascism. I don't want to see fascism take any hold in these great United States. And to let people constantly call you out, get in your grill, calling you an N-word, I've been called everything in the book. And to instigate, constantly instigate and say, like the alt-right always does, that whites are superior and there's a reason why we want a wall. The wall doesn't make any bit of difference. People are going to get into this country regardless. It does not help. It only hurts.
Well, here's the thing. All right. I mean, if we want to get on Trump a little bit, I mean, the thing about the wall, it wasn't just. I mean, because I don't know if you were talking about the drug situation, but it's obviously getting attention. Part of building the wall wasn't just to keep illegal immigrants out. It was also to make it more difficult to have drugs cross the border.
All right.
Because as you know, how much heroin is produced in the United States.
Okay, let me put something to rest here.
Zero. There's no heroin. It's all brought in. Okay. How much cocaine is grown in the United States?
To make a blanket statement about somebody, to say that Mexicans are rapists and
said some.
No, no. It doesn't matter. I could say the same thing about any race or culture.
Nobody's got the everybody. Every group has their rapists.
What is the perception of people when you, as the president of the United States, say those things, Howie? What are people? People are afraid of minorities. Why? Because people always say they're the bad ones. They're the ones that bring the crime. Just look at this.
When you say people are afraid of minorities, I mean, what do you mean by that?
I mean, a lot of people are afraid of minorities, man. I mean, Donald Trump is scared shitless of minorities, man. He wants a wall. No.
All minorities?
Look, I'm gonna call.
Personally, I think Donald Trump his biggest problems are with the majority. I think.
Yeah.
Well, look, for people that don't understand, majority of this planet are women.
Right.
Majority of the people in this country are women.
No, he has a problem.
I think he has a real problem with women.
He actually has a problem with all the above, man. This goes back years, Howie. This guy took out a full-page ad in the New York Times to condemn 5 people that were proven beyond a shadow of a doubt with DNA evidence that they were not at fault in the rape of that woman. He wanted 5 people to die because of it. 5 people, innocent people. I think 1 is too many. And anybody that has that clout and does that is a worthless piece of shit scumbag. And that's the guy.
I don't know that.
The Central Park 5.
Central Park 5. I don't know that. Honestly,
just look it up, man. He brought out a full full page thing in the New York Times with his signature on it that he authorized, so that he could bring attention to the Central Park Five and put them to
Does
death.
does that make him a racist?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty racist to want these 5 innocent black people to die for a crime they didn't commit. He has a history of doing this, Howie. There are many things that he's done.
Well, listen, I can't speak on the case because I don't know whether they did it. Were they exonerated?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Exonerated.
Maybe he made a mistake. Doesn't make him a racist.
Okay, hold on. I would go with that theory that he made a mistake, right? Has he ever apologized? No. There's no apology. There's never anything Trump does, Trump thinks is right. And he will not cop to facts. All right? He comes up
people make mistakes.
Well, it's one thing to make a mistake. It's another thing to say, you know what? I made a mistake. He never ever cops to his mistakes. He's made several. He's been bankrupt 6 times. He's cheated people out of money. There are a litany of reasons why. And by the way, Donald Trump probably is involved in the child sex rings that you're talking about, Howie. So this guy is no good.
Well, don't say that. You don't say that without any any proof.
No.
I mean, I know there was a lawsuit against him, and if you read that lawsuit, and it's from the early 90s. It came out. I don't know. It was filed. I mean, it was filed a couple times.
Let me
ask. Filed, it was like a week. Hold on a second.
Right.
It was filed a week before the election. And if you look at the lawyer who filed that lawsuit, it's a patent lawyer from Princeton, New Jersey.
Okay.
Now, solely, I could pull up his name if I went on the computer. Why would you hire a patent lawyer to file a rape lawsuit? It doesn't make any sense.
What difference does it make? What difference does it make, Howie? Look,
patent lawyers are patent lawyers.
At the very least, we have an immoral president.
But you're saying he's part of a sex trafficking ring.
I'm saying you might uncover some stuff in your findings that changes your mind on Donald Trump when it comes to child sex trafficking. All right, I'm not saying it's true.
I've looked, man. I've looked.
All right.
There's nothing.
Well, there's plenty with him and the Epstein brothers that you can look up. Look up the Death Op Eaters dossier stuff. And you'll find a lot of information about Donald Trump that at first I'm like,
knew the guy, and he said, one time he said like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein's a good friend of mine. Trump would go around. I mean, he would say that about anybody.
Okay.
He talks. He's a talker.
Right.
I don't know what kind of friend he was with them.
Listen.
And apparently he kicked them out of Mar-a-Lago.
Well, whatever the case, this is what I'm saying about Donald Trump. At the very least, I happen to think that he's a Nazi sympathizer, a race baiter, all the names in the book. But at the very least, the public has to acknowledge that this guy is immoral. At the very least, he's an immoral human being.
That's an opinion.
No, it's not. All you have to do is turn to his own words. Grabbing women by the pussy. Is that okay? Do you go around talking?
Did he grab? Is there any evidence that he grabbed women by the pussy?
Plenty.
The 5? Wait a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Frank. How about the 5 women that came out 2 weeks before the election? One woman was on an airplane 35 years ago.
I'm not going to get on the victim blaming.
Well, no, I'm saying, where did they go?
No,
did they go? They all came
maybe
out.
It's in
5
litigation.
women came out.
Look,
5 women came out.
Look,
and where did it all go?
Look, Trump settles. All right.
No, you're not answering my question.
No,
where did they go?
Look, no.
One of them
we're not.
Sat in a press conference with Gloria Allred, and it was proven that she was a liar.
I'm not going to victim blame. I don't do that on this show. All right. I let the processes take out. But when somebody constantly takes settlements, come on, man. Trump University. Have you ever did any research on Trump University? How he stole money from people and claimed bankruptcy and never those people. There was a settlement on that. So in
Okay.
it, he admits guilt.
All right.
When you take a settlement,
So,
you don't.
all right. So Trump. All right. So if Trump University was half a scam,
It
and
is.
people paid their money and they didn't get what they
Mm-hmm.
thought they were getting,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then what?
Then it was a scam. It was
Okay.
a total scam. So we want a scammer in chief. We don't want a president. We want a scammer in chief. We want a guy who talks so liberally about women and how he wants to buy them furniture for sex and all this shit that's on tape. We can look at all this and we can just disregard it because you know what? He's the president. You know what? Fuck him. I mean, he's a low-life scumbag, and I hope
He's done.
I hope.
Has Donald Trump ever done anything good for people?
No, never. Not once.
Oh,
I can't think
come
of
on, man.
one time. Nope. He's, you
In
know
his
what?
entire life,
You know-
Donald Trump has never
you know-
done anything good.
You know, oh, I'm sure Hitler was good to his kids and to his wife.
No, man.
I'm sure. I'm sure of
man.
it. So, what I'm saying is, Trump
Yeah.
is and always will be a two-bit con artist. All right, and he's now he's trying to bankrupt the entire country because guess what? He doesn't have
Frank.
any fucking money.
Frank.
All right.
Frank.
When you
Frank.
go, no. When
Frank,
you go
the
from
country-
bankruptcy
the
to
country-
bankruptcy,
Frank,
you,
the country-
you know that
Frank, the
nobody.
country
Hold on,
went
hold on.
bankrupt.
Do you know? No. Hold on.
We're $20 trillion in debt, Frank.
Look, what I'm saying is Trump
We're 20 trillion.
doesn't have any money. All right. And what happens when you don't money? You start borrowing money from other people. There is no bank in the United States that will lend Donald Trump money. Why? Why? Ask yourself why. Why won't they do it? Deutsche Bank is the only bank that lends him money. All right. This guy is not a good businessman. He's done nothing but bad to the country. He's regressed us 20 some odd years.
Well, all right. Are you starting to give a lot of opinion and go on a rant? Like let's bring it in and let's stick to actual facts.
No. When I bring in facts, you want to dismiss them, Howie. When I brought up,
I mean, well, just bring up a fact. You're saying he's not a good businessman.
he's not a good business person.
He owns property all over the world.
So what? So what? I could own property too and not be rich.
Well, if I
That's-
own that kind of property, I might go around and say, "Hey, I'm a pretty good businessman."
But he's not. He's just not. If you listen to other billionaires like Mark Cuban, this guy is not a Why in God's green earth would you want to hold back your tax returns from the citizens of the United States, Howie? Come on, man. Come on.
So what?
Come on.
How does it affect you? They released some and he paid some taxes.
No, they didn't release any. They released
Oh,
one.
Rachel Maddow
No.
opened
Oh,
off
Rachel
right on her
Maddow.
show.
But Rachel Maddow's a piece of shit too, and I can go into a whole.
Oh wow! All right.
issue.
Well, there's something we can do a whole show on Rachel Maddow. if you want.
No. Look, I could do a whole show on Rachel Maddow and how her
Okay.
and Brian Williams and all these
Sure.
fucking people
Sure.
that make millions
we
a
can-
year that are
Right.
warmongers and love
I got you.
missiles and bombs
Same
and
page.
shit like that, right?
Same
But
page.
at
But here,
the-
can
at
I? Here, I'll tell you. Listen,
Why-
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was never a big Donald Trump fan.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, like The Apprentice and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and his Donald Trump water and his steaks, and
Right,
I was like,
right.
I was like, this guy's a tool.
Right.
This guy's an absolute utter tool. Now, at one point, I being from Philadelphia, and I spent way too much time in Atlantic City.
Mhm.
And he gets blamed for all that. Atlantic City itself is a complete and utter cesspool.
No question.
Okay.
No question.
So there's so much corrupt. I mean, for years they were bringing in way more money than Las Vegas was. Okay.
Yep.
Just
No,
with
yep.
just with their, and they never there used to be projects
Yep.
like 2 blocks away from Trump Plaza. Like
Mhm.
you're coming in off the Atlantic City Expressway, and you like right off to the right,
Right,
man.
right.
Like really bad housing projects. You wouldn't go anywhere. So they never dumped it. They never put a penny back into the city, and that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
Atlantic City is having. But everybody was taking their money.
Oh, speaking
So-
of that, how many people do you know that have bankrupt casinos? All right, those casinos that Trump had in Atlantic City. What was it? Not the Mirage, but Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
Trump
Well, the Taj
Plaza.
Mahal, right? Well, the Taj Mahal was his downfall.
All of it. All that casino
No,
shit.
no. The Taj Mahal, he needed to bring in $1 million a day just to
Yeah.
break even.
Yeah.
He got that was where his and that's like late 80s. It's probably like 88 when the
Yeah.
Taj Mahal was built.
Yep.
That was his ego, and then the housing market crash in New York City. I mean, he was like $9 billion in debt. So yeah, the Taj Mahal, and it's a friggin' eyesore. It always was. It was just cheesy, gaudy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
one of the casinos I've never gambled in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he made a mistake. He
Yeah.
made a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But the guy now, if I'm 9B in the hole, like I'm probably jumping out. I'm probably jumping off, out of the Trump Tower.
well,
Not a lot.
Look,
Not a lot of guys can bring themselves back from that.
he has too big of an ego to do that, man. I keep wishing for that every day, that he would just
A lot
throw
of,
himself.
a lot of guys with big egos who've lost that kind of money have off themselves. So let's
No.
come
No,
on.
I have no sympathy for Donald Trump. I don't think he's a good human
what
being.
what I do think, and this is where I think, and I'm saying like the whole apprentice thing and all that. I mean, we turned into like he was everywhere, and I'm like, I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all.
Mhm.
I hated him. Okay, but I think he had an epiphany.
Okay,
Okay.
what's this epiphany that he can be stronger than women, not shake Angela Merkel's hand because she's a woman? These are tactics that people like Putin has done before. Like it's pretty much widely known that Angela Merkel doesn't like dogs. She's deathly afraid of dogs. So what does asshat Putin do? He brings his fucking dog to a sit down with Angela Merkel to, make sure that we all know he has a big penis, right? It's the same thing with Donald Trump. He talks a big game, does a lot of shady shit that people give him a pass for, and we're all supposed to think that he is a strong leader, when in reality he's a fucking weakling. He's a weakling.
Who, Donald Trump?
Yeah, he's a weakling.
Well,
Somebody
you know
on
what?
TV
But
yesterday.
Frank,
The best
here-
moniker
here's
I
the
could
thing.
give Donald
Here's the
Trump.
thing. Here's the thing. If he is all these things that you're saying,
Mhm.
and then some,
Yeah.
and he's done bankrupt, he's has no morals and all this shit.
Right.
You know what? Donald Trump did one thing that I will be forever, ever grateful
Mhm.
to him for, and I will stand behind him almost 100% every time because of it. He stopped Hillary Clinton from becoming president of the United States.
Look, he's not the one that stopped Hillary Clinton. The donors were. But listen,
The what?
the donors,
Whoa,
the
whoa.
donors
Whoa.
always have influence, man. The donors. All this bullshit
Donors?
about
What
there
are you
were.
talking about?
Do you not know about the way that the American political process works, Howie? You're pretty astute. I'm sure you know all about the donors.
There are a lot of reasons Hillary lost, and I'd blame a lot of it on her and the DNC.
Yep. No question.
As opposed to Trump actually beating her.
Yeah.
I think she.
Well,
that's,
look,
I
that's
think
the-
she
that's
was
the
a terrible
narrative.
candidate for
Yeah.
one thing.
That's the
No,
narrative.
it's not narrative. It's
I'm
truth, man. It's
I'm
truth.
listen, I'm a Democrat. I voted Bernie in the primary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good.
And the DNC screwed Bernie.
Right. The DNC screwed Bernie. No question about it. I am not a Hillary fan by any stretch of the imagination. I think Hillary would have been awful for this country, just like I think Trump is awful. So
She would have been awful in ways that were irreparable.
well, I think you could make the same argument for Trump. Like he's obviously a racist. He doesn't, do anything for poor people. He doesn't do anything. That's the whole point.
He doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything but sign useless executive orders, The trans military ban is an absolute disgrace.
Damn
And-
executive orders have got to stop, but there's no way they're going to.
Look.
It's like it's like their presidential pardon. It's another executive power that just it's the president should not have that power.
It absolutely. Do you realize how many people he's ostracized by even tweeting that? How many people has he ostracized? He's ostracized more people than he's gotten to come together, and that's the problem. That's the problem.
Transgender. I don't know if it's transgenderism.
What difference does it make?
It's classified. Is classified as a mental disorder.
No, Howie,
Yeah.
You're not. No.
It is not a mental
Absolutely not. No way.
I said
no.
it's categorized as a mental disorder.
No.
Yeah, I know they're working on eliminating
it should
that
not be.
categorization, though.
That's absolute horseshit. And anybody.
But the fact that you even tried to bring that up is
it's
pretty
not
scummy, if you ask me.
I think listen. I mean, we can agree to disagree.
No,
but if you
we're
wanna,
definitely
if you wanna
disagreeing
chop-
on
if
this.
you wanna
You guys
chop
are
it
arguing over a word right now, basically.
No, we're definitely
You're
disagreeing.
agreeing on the same. You're pretty much agreeing. You're just arguing over the definition of a word.
Yeah, no. This is. I'm not gonna get into that either because that.
We don't have to because
No.
it's not a major issue in the United States, but it's being pushed as a major issue.
It is a major issue.
What percentage of the population is quote unquote transgender?
What difference does it make? Do we discriminate against somebody because they're unique? Do we just denounce a whole section
They want to chop off body parts. What do you mean? That's what you categorize as
They
unique?
want, if they want to do that, that's up to them. That's their business. It's not mine.
Maybe we should try to counsel them and make them not chop off their body parts and figure out what is going on inside their head that makes them want to chop off their body parts.
Maybe they were just born that way. Maybe they were just born that way. So why should we?
Not every trans person
in my life,
wants
I've never
cut
wanted to
off
chop
their
it. I never wanted to chop my dick off.
That's you, Howie. There are other people that feel otherwise.
And your ignorance on trans issues is very apparent right here.
Yeah, it is, man. You really should.
People self-mutilating?
No. It's not mutilation. It's becoming something
It's
that
more
they've
than
always
just
been.
people wanting to have certain organs or not wanting to
Right.
have certain organs.
Right. It's more than that, Howie. It's more than that.
I know.
It's not-
I understand. I'm simplifying it like that, but that's kind of a big step.
Well,
have you ever met? Do you know any transgender people?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
How many?
Absolutely. Plenty. I don't have to get in details because I don't
It
want
doesn't matter how many we know.
It doesn't matter. I could know
Are they
0.
older or younger? Or?
Does it matter? Older,
Well,
younger?
I want to know. I mean, you know any older one?
Does it
you know
matter?
Do you know any ones that are older and have like regrets about it?
Nope.
No.
Not one. No.
Nobody regrets
No.
getting surgery.
No.
that I know.
Nobody regrets getting the surgery.
No. Well, they might have pain that they regret and certain things like that, but no. These people definitely were supposed to be a different sex.
Phrase that.
Let's disagree. Let's just agree to disagree. Because we can just agree to disagree. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Look, here's the point.
Here's
the point, Howie. When you single out a whole section of people, right? There's a whole section of people in the military that are transgender. When you do that, you are basically assaulting the United States with ignorance and hatred and unforgiving nonsense.
I'd like to add that if Trump's all about money, and he is, why would he do this? Because it financially does not make sense. Because the people that they'd have to pay to replace those soldiers would cost them much more expensive.
Way more expensive, no question.
Not to mention they spend a lot more money on Viagra for straight people.
Yeah.
Rich friends. That's what they want.
Yep. That's all it's about.
He's doing what his rich friends want.
Look, Howie,
listen,
we're all in the 99%.
Transgender, it's blown up. I mean,
no,
it's not worth. It's not worth with all the things that we could be talking about right now.
I agree with that, but
I don't even agree with that.
Just say it's okay and stop and not judge people. Let them do what they do with their lives and worry about the big stuff.
No,
I want to know. I would like to know what's going on inside their head that makes them feel that way. and what has happened to them in their lives that makes them feel that way.
What if there was
not
nothing,
just
Howie? It's not a
them though. We
question
need
of
to
that.
do that for most Americans. Mental health is a huge issue in this country, and
Right.
I'm not comparing that to. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's a mental health issue, but mental health is an issue that's not addressed in this
Right. Right.
Oh,
at
yeah.
all in this country.
Right. No,
And
that's something I
and
can
it's
agree
not
with.
it's not being treated properly.
Yeah. Well,
and
I
it's
don't think
being-
being transgender is a mental condition
Well,
that you can
when
treat.
I say mental condition, I mean that this is who they are mentally and emotionally, and if there are more transgender people that are probably not getting taken care of
Right.
because they don't know.
Right.
And just like there are a lot of people who have
I
problems.
think it's important that people are talking about it, and I don't think it's not a big deal
Right.
because
I agree.
obviously there's a lot of ignorance on the subject, and
Totally
they're
agree.
trying to get people aware of the situation.
Yeah. Totally
And
agree.
because when that happens, people are educated. There won't be issues because people will actually want to help these people,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
so that they aren't treated like shit in society and
Right.
treated apathetically like
Right.
you've been doing.
But
Can I
when we
give a-
treat
can I give a-
everybody for mental issues,
Can I give a theory? Can I give a
Go
theory?
ahead.
And it goes back
Go
to pedogate. There are so many sexually abused children in this country
Mm.
that do not get any type of help because people don't know about it and they don't disclose that they've been sexually abused. I think that is what's actually contributing
No.
to all the. What's that?
I kind of see where you're going there, Howie.
And I don't
agree.
like what you're implying.
You're implying that
You're
if
implying
you
that
get,
trans people are trans
No,
because
no.
of
I'm
how
talking.
they're
I didn't
past.
say trans people. No, I said because you segue into mental health in general. I think my theory is that the mental health crisis, and it is a crisis in my opinion, is
we can
a
agree
lot
on
of it is based on the fact that so many children are sexually abused.
I think I could agree
not
with
just
that.
And
not just
manifest
sexually, but physically,
Right,
emotionally.
okay, right. It doesn't. Right. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Whether it's physical, mental,
Yeah.
emotional abuse, the bullying situation is just unbelievable. I don't have kids, but just being on the peripheral and
Which,
seeing
by
what
the
goes
way,
on.
Which, by the way, Trump reeks of being a big bully, Howie. Like he just seems like a big bully. If you were to do business with him, I'm sure he wouldn't treat you very nice either. So that's what I'm saying about this guy. He has no morals. He's not
Right. Well,
particularly.
and I know, as opposed to all the other businessmen that do have morals.
Look, I agree. I think there's a lot of business people that don't have morals.
No, I think he has a moral. It's just his morals are just so far removed from everybody else's.
No. I think he's morally bankrupt, actually. And I think
what I mean is like he's hedonistic to the extreme.
I think if it came down to him and his son being in jail, he would throw his son under the bus. And I actually hope we get a chance to see that just so everybody else can see it.
In jail for what? You want to get into Russian collusion right now?
No. I'm not. I'm gonna let that process play out, Howie.
Yeah, it's almost an hour over. We should
I
try to get into
reserve
stuff like that
judgment.
later.
I reserve judgment on that. That's for another day. But I don't condemn anybody until they're proven beyond a shadow. But the body of work that Trump has consistently done, and I can't help but point out the Central Park Five. If you look that whole thing up, this guy has a history of doing things that are kind of racist. Matt Damon spoke about how he does business in the movies. You can't do anything on his property unless he's written into the film, which is if that doesn't say everything about Donald Trump, I don't know what does, man. He's something else is what he is. I almost want to believe Alex Jones and the alien theory just so I can apply it to Donald Trump, that Donald Trump is a lizard person.
You guys, you really hate this guy.
Oh, I can't stand. Trump is worse. Trump is worse than. Let me think if I can think of fair. Like when you're walking like on some grass, and you step in a pile of shit, and it's like the worst feeling in the world. When Trump talks, I get that way. no matter what, whatever he's saying.
Right.
He spews bullshit out of his mouth, and it's like I stepped in shit, and I have to like
Right.
sit there and pick the shit out of my brain.
Right,
To
and
pretend that I
getting
never
back,
heard him.
Getting back that there was a choice between him and Hillary Clinton, so Hillary would have been a
No,
better choice than Donald Trump.
I don't think she would have been better. I think she's just as deplorable and shitty as he is. No question. Bernie
So who
would have
should
been
be
a way.
president right now?
Bernie.
I mean, those were the only choices.
Bernie should have been president. That's who
Or
should
you
have been.
could have gone with me, who protested the election by refusing to vote.
Bernie would have got eaten alive.
No.
Listen, I want a world. Listen, I want a world. I want a world of equality and people making living wages and health care for all. I want that world. Dude, we're so far fucking from it.
Yeah, but
you
the
think,
the
you
time
think Bernie
for-
would have got any of that done? Come on, man.
I think he would have got at least one major thing done, like healthcare for all. I think that's the one thing that he would have.
The healthcare. Listen, the healthcare problem. First of all, people need to take care of their own health.
No,
We have an obesity epidemic
okay,
in this country.
Howie, I
Huh?
can speak personally on this issue. Okay, not all
Sure.
people that are obese because they want to be obese. Okay, I'm not obese, but I know people who are obese that have certain diseases and certain things, and there's a risk pool that we all know going into that we have to provide for. All right. And that's why Medicare for all is good. All right. Yes, we pay even though we're not using it, but that's how it fucking works. When we buy car insurance, it's the same thing, except now we're playing with people's lives, and that's a little bit different than dealing with a piece of metal. And I think should be a
what
right.
do you say? Why are people obese? It's not their fault.
There's different, there's plenty of reasons. Like some people are diabetic that don't get diabetes from eating sugar. So, you can't.
Well, what about all the people? What about all the people that do?
Then
Okay,
they
let
do.
me cut in. This is a whole other subject.
Yeah.
We shouldn't if you guys want to stay on Trump, we should do that. But we could do this another day. But really, we're like an hour over.
We're an hour
normal
over.
time.
You're right, Breakman. Breakman's being the host today.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody needs to eat. Everybody's tired. I'm tired. I need to go too,
All right, man.
Howie. But
That's cool.
Look, Howie, you're welcome on the show. Anytime. Anybody else who's listening is welcome to call in. It's RPGrinders on Skype. We do the show every Saturday at 3 Eastern time. And we definitely have controversial subjects. I'm very controversial. I say
We
what's on my
don't
mind.
steer away from controversy here. That's
never,
for sure.
never once have I ever.
Which
steered
we
away.
think is part of the problem with the rest of the country.
Right. We don't want to talk about these things. They're uncomfortable, and that's why I want to open the discussion at least. But anyways, anything you want to plug?
And then there are the Would You Rather from Freak 5 casts, which are just beyond uncomfortable.
Yeah. We didn't have time to do Sweetos this week. Sorry, guys. Howie, do you have any plugs before we leave?
No, not really. I mean, I have my own podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays on UCY .tv. It's called the Traffic Report, as in trafficking.
All right. No, that's cool. We'll definitely have to take a listen and
Traffic Report. Okay, where's that at again?
That's UCY.tv.
All right, UCY.tv. Nice.
Yeah, midnights Tuesday and Thursday. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to go up when Hillary's going around for her first book signing is September 12th in New York City.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be trolling that.
You might be surprised.
Me and you could have a Hillary bashing podcast.
Look, guys, I could go into Hillary all day long too. Trust me, Hillary is no good person at all.
Nope.
It's
and
a
Trump
debate.
Stopped her. Trump stopped her, and I love him for it.
He didn't stop her, man. He can't even stop his own mouth, let alone stop.
Don't matter, man.
But no,
He ain't-
Can't control his fingers either. Stop,
No,
fingers,
he can't-
stop.
September
he's awful.
12th, he'll be in the White House, and she'll be at Barnes and Noble in Union Square, New York City.
I don't
That's
know.
all.
We'll see. We'll see where this investigation goes and what happens to everybody's hero, Donald Trump. Breakman, what are your plugs?
You can follow me at break_man and at RPGrinders on Twitter, obviously.
Yep.
But
All right.
I just wanted to keep talking because I didn't get to say a lot.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Breakman and Eric.
No, it's okay. It's okay. My feelings are hurt, but they'll be all right.
Yeah, right. Eric, Eric, your plugs, man.
You can find me on Twitter at EricRPG, and I've written for a number of sites like BostonBastardBrigade.com and TotallyJam.com. And right now there's a review on TotallyJam.com for Pyre. That's for the PS4 and PC. And you can check that out. Otherwise, there's my YouTube channel, Funny ET Man.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything lately, but it's there.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank everybody in chat. I know I didn't really read chat all that much, but Freak5 was in there. Dungeon Buster was in there. I didn't see if MXT showed up, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate you listening to me rant and rave and talk about stuff that's on my mind. Really, really happy that you guys were in there. If you're listening on the archives, check us out on YouTube, Ustream, Twitch, iTunes, etc. RPGrinders. Look it up. You'll find lots of interesting topics ranging from lately politics, but we talk about aliens. We talk about all kinds of shit. So, just tune in if you want to be part of the show. Give us a shout out on Twitter. And other than that, have a safe weekend this weekend. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, which isn't much. But anyways, have a great time this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Till then, we're out. Later, guys. All right, everybody in chat. Howie told us to have a good Labor Day. Thanks, Howie. Appreciate you coming on the show. I didn't even get a chance to thank him, but it's always interesting to have Howie on there. I think he's a little too enamored with Trump, and I think that's what part of Trump's appeal now is. I don't see what his appeal is anymore.
Not to mention being reductive as hell.
Oh, yeah, no question. But hey, Freak5, I'll get with you. Get out of here, Freak5, you son of a bitch.
That was just a little mean.
That's mean. That was a zinger. You know what?
The low blow of the night.
Right. I was gonna mention ZA and I forgot to Zombies Anonymous, but it'll be on the YouTube, so you'll still get the plug. Freak5, Zombies Anonymous. Check out that show. It's a good show. They talk horror and zombies and stuff like that. They have a ton of fun. Eric, you have an open invitation to come on Wednesday onto ZA apparently, so that should be cool if you end up doing that. But everybody in chat, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Dungeon Buster and Freak5, really appreciate it. I'm gonna end the show, but I do seriously want to thank you guys for joining and listening. It's fun. So later guys.